I think this music came on after. Do you remember this?
I do.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of it. I love the lo-fi.
Yeah, our buddy Dondre did a really good job. I love that one. There were times, it's like when you get a new song stuck in your head. It's like that's only 30 seconds, but I would sit there and like just keep listening.
It has a very like East Coast vibe to it. Like I'm walking the streets of New York or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a nice cold rainy
that's
day.
How I
like
feel. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's very nice. It's very it's euphoric for us Arizonians because we don't get rainy cold nights a lot. You know,
Except
recently.
Yeah, past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve it was pouring for like what. Almost like 4 hours straight, which is pretty unusual.
A rainy Christmas.
Yeah,
that's the best that we can get is just slick roads.
Yeah.
So we get the car accident part of Christmas, just not the fun in the snow.
The shitty
the
drivers.
magical
That's it.
snow.
Yeah.
You just went to New York not too long ago.
Yeah. I did some shows out there at the end of October and stuff. That was a very interesting experience to say the least.
How rude am I? I totally forgot. So we're on season 2 now, episode 32, or technically episode 2. Joined with Allie again, and with me and Allie is the master of the chip reviews, local comedian Jim Cristoli. Is that how I say it?
So close. Justin Kirshner.
Yeah. Welcome back, man.
Thank you so much,
I was very excited to have you back on. I know we've been scheduling this for quite some time, and then the biggest joke of them all, you got COVID out of nowhere. That was kind of unfortunate, but glad to see that you're nice and healthy again.
Yeah, everything's good. Those things, they can creep up on you.
Did you get the full sickness, or would you just couldn't taste, couldn't smell?
Yeah, I was fine physically. I had a little bit of a sniffles. I just couldn't taste or smell anything.
Sounds awful.
It was very odd. I didn't. Everything is texture based now.
Right.
I stopped eating like an asshole because I was just because of the flavor.
Yeah.
And I just.
So are you still dealing with those things now?
No. I'm pretty much all done. I mean, I get a little allergy shit now and then, but it's it was weird because things that I liked, all of a sudden I fucking hated.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it because there was just no taste to it?
Here's one thing, and my brother got this the same way too when he got COVID, because he lost his sense of taste and smell when he got it. Like I had McDonald's, and I love a good McDonald's. Look at me.
Yeah.
But I could not taste anything but the salt in it, and you know how heavily salted those things are.
Right. So when you kind of take away the flavor, it feels like mush.
Yeah.
It was just
salty, mushy.
Well, Katie said the same thing. She can't even drink Coke the same now because it still just tastes weird to her. She was it tastes like cleaning product. And
I've heard that too. That even your taste change, even once you get your your sense of taste back and stuff. Nothing like that, but pretty great. And it sucked because I couldn't do any chip review shit because.
I know. I honestly, so the first part of that is I feel like I'm the only one that would love just for a good 3 weeks to not taste anything because I'm one of the pickiest eaters in the world.
Oh, really?
I would immediately, I'd be like, what cleanse can I go on? I'll eat nothing but salads and drink beet juice,
kale,
because I can't taste it, so I'm not going to be like a little kid, when and it's I've always been like that. It's hard for me to fucking eat salads. So that's all I would do. If I got it.
To be honest with you, I was surprised because I was vaccinated and I don't have the booster yet, but I figured, you could still catch it, but you just don't have the shitty symptoms like everybody else had. But it's not the fucking case. Fauci lied to us.
Oh. God damn it. I want to talk about the chip thing for a second.
Oh, nice.
I got to say, I did not know that this is. How long have you been doing that for?
I'm on 6 episodes of it now. I used to do it just once a week, and I'm going to start upping it to about twice a week now. But I'm about a few months into it, and it's I love chips. I love snack foods and stuff like that. So I figured, fuck it.
Justin is a chip connoisseur on TikTok. He leaves potato chip reviews, and they're really interesting. I gotta say, I am quite a TikTok hater, unless they're
he really is.
Unless they're either completely satire, like they're completely a joke, or their dad's working on a house, like a house or a DIY table. Those are my 2 favorites. But whenever I see your stuff on Instagram, cause you do the scroll, I always it's got to stop. Just be because I don't know if I'll ever eat them. But it's now I know.
Like I said, a lot of the ones that I do. Shout out to Pops Exotics in Mesa. That's where I go to get.
I was gonna ask you where you get those.
That's where I get some of the more outlandish stuff. 2 of them I got at the Grid in Mesa when I was doing a show out there, and I wanted to do more exotic stuff. I didn't want to just do here's your nacho cheese Doritos. I mean, everybody's had some fucking nacho cheese Doritos and stuff. So I just wanted to get stuff from all different countries, and the weirder the better.
Okay.
And if it's really, the guy even told me one time, he was we had Mountain Dew flavored Doritos. I was
interesting.
Oh, wow.
You call me when you get those back in.
Yeah.
Even if they're disgusting,
I would think world markets and things like that would be a good place to get
There's one by my house. I want to check it out, but I don't know if they have chips or if it's more just regular foods and spices.
True.
I honestly have never stepped foot into one.
They're pretty cool stores for sure. You can get a lot of like interesting stuff just from all over the world.
Makes you hungry.
I would
Makes
think
you weirdly
chips,
hungry.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'd spend too much fucking money at that place seeing some.
I will tell you that I got the only thing I got there was 3 bottles of unregulated beer from Europe.
Yeah.
Just because they don't like monitor like you.
What's the difference?
Dude. Well, first of all, a lot. So like, okay, I think like a Budweiser in the States is like 2 or like 3.something%, something like that. And then they try to spice up the game for alcoholics by making you have Bud Light Platinum, which is like 7%. And I don't know if you've ever had one of those, but they'll get you where you want to go within like 3. Yeah. I think I got 2. One was 14.something%.
Goddamn.
And the other one was like 15 point something.
That's a bottle of wine.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, in a beer bottle. And then there was another one that I didn't get because it definitely looked like a joke, but it looked it was a bottle. And it said FUGGIN awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Fucking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
And it was like 19% alcohol beer.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I think when I went to go grab it, Allie kind of gave me that look of like, I don't want you to grab that. Like,
I don't know if I'm going to like the person you're going to be after.
Right.
no, dude, I don't think I've ever been more drunk off of 2 beers in my entire life. That was my
Europeans don't fuck around when it comes to their drinking.
They don't. No.
They really do not. Like I said, Guinness is what? It's supposed to be way more alcohol rich in like Ireland and stuff like that. And we get this pussy 4% stuff here.
right.
And
But here's my counter argument is I feel like it's no big deal over there because first of all, there's like a pub in every corner of Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
just like I
They
don't got to
stay
drive in my
drinking.
car.
every 2 stores
Yeah.
is another
Yeah,
pub
I
for
could
you to go
literally
hang out.
walk downstairs and just go to the pub. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seriously, there's like small towns in England that have population of maybe what? Couple thousand people, but
yeah.
there's like 60 pubs.
Yeah.
And you're like, I didn't know you needed that many goddamn pubs. But it's like, it's a social thing. It's not just like you go place a bar to go hang out.
You know what I will say? It's really interesting. I never really realized is that you look at like today's society, like old people are living longer than ever. Kids today are getting more and more healthy as they get younger. It's a two-edged or double sided. You know what I'm trying to say?
It's terrible, isn't
because
it?
you're either going to be like you have like super fat kids who don't do anything, or you just have kids who just are super like they're already just like vegan AF.
But, you know, people should die.
Yeah,
okay. That's not necessarily all of them need
but
to be
what
sticking
I'm getting
around.
to, what I'm getting to is that now it's just like you hang. Most progressive young adults are like their hangouts are like let's go like on like a hike together. Let's go walk Tempe Town Lake. Let's go kayaking. But it's just like in the days of old, anything that was social was so bad for you. It was either a steak dinner that was melted in butter, like you had
Fast food too.
You chain smoke cigarettes. You sit at the bar for 9 hours. Like,
I mean, when America was great.
let me just say, back when the country was amazing.
Bugger off, libtard scum!
It's one of my new favorite ones.
I love the new sound bites. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
thank you. No, I was just thinking that, like, yeah, and I think that's why
Yeah.
because everywhere, like even like bodegas over there are like mini pubs.
But like, people are just more health conscious in general. I mean, I never even heard of what fucking kale was when I was in high school.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden everybody was eating it. Same thing, like in my mom's generation, they eat like fast food all the time too.
Yeah.
I mean, I still eat the shit out of fast food, but I feel like people
course.
eat fast food less and less now because they want.
I think
more
it's kind of like one of
home-cooked
those
stuff.
things where it's like, yeah, it's less and less, but then there's like a condense of people who eat it a lot more,
That's
especially now because you.
I feel like that's us.
that is us.
Yeah, we
I was trying to be sly about it, but all of us have just ousted ourselves to
Yeah,
be
no.
in the
I'm-
1%
I am a
of.
fucking slob when it comes
Yeah.
to some of this stuff.
I just don't like. I don't like making things. Like I like having it be made.
I love
and ready
cooking
to
things,
eat.
but here's the thing: I'm just an inherently lazy person.
Yeah, right there.
And I'm just like, I would love to make myself a homemade
Right.
dinner, but I'm not gonna do it.
right.
Because I don't want to do the dishes.
Yeah.
That's my number one thing.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want
hate
to do the
cleaning
dishes.
up.
And I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys get the same way. I've done it where it's like, okay, I'm cooking dinner, I'm chopping up shit, and I do it, and by the time I finish, I'm like, I'm not even hungry.
Yeah.
Anymore. It's like I was hungry, but it just like works it out of my body, and I hate myself afterwards. And I just got a whole Tupperware full of nonsense in my fridge. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
we kind of do that too, like with leftovers, and they just sit there.
I try to be better about it, but
Okay,
I
by
hate
the way,
wasting.
I think I've changed my mind on sangria.
do you like it?
I kind of really like it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
good.
It's very
Okay.
smooth.
Yeah.
Do yourself a favor. You want to know the best part about
It's
it?
$11.
$11.
Oh, for that big ass thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a gallon of wine for $11. So do yourself a favor and just go buy one of those one day and just sit on your couch, watch like a few feel good movies that you've just loved your entire life. You might not need to go to therapy anymore.
Just be aware though, it can be one of the worst hangovers.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure because of the sugar and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm used to the straight whiskey for the most part, or just some beer. But
Yeah.
I hear the wine drunk's different. I've never been completely wine drunk.
That'll do it.
Allie can tell you what it's like to be with someone who's wine drunk because
He is a wine drunk. Yeah,
I get
the very definition.
very emotional.
Oh, okay.
Not like angry. That's the thing is like it's like I think the reason why Allie and I just have never had the conversation of like, hey, how many beers have you had tonight? Is because I don't break shit. I don't yell at people. I'm just silly guy. The downside is that if I am going off the rails, I'm just being a silly guy, like whatever.
Or crying.
I mean, we watched
the drunk crying.
we watched Don't Look Up. That was
good.
You like it?
I liked
did
it.
like it.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Made us kind of sad.
Yeah, it had such a weird feeling at the end because you were just like, whoa, like.
What made me sad about that movie was how accurate that is. So if like that actually happened, I would not be surprised at all if that was the reaction of people trying to downplay it. They're like, well, what was one of the lines in the movies like? So it's like a 99.97% chance, and they're like, oh, so you're saying it's not 100?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
We're like, what the fuck?
Right.
Right.
Let's just say 70 and call it even and stuff. We're like, oh.
Yeah. That was a phenomenal movie. And I was just so blown away. I was like, that's fucking Adam McKay. Like, that's Step Brothers. You know what I mean? Like, he did a really good job.
You know Jennifer Lawrence is pregnant now, right? She's pregnant. They were doing all the press for the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not, but the rumor it's Leo's baby.
No. Well, first of
Wasn't
all,
she
Leo.
like married? Jennifer Lawrence is married, I think.
Is she?
To the director of the, I never saw it, but it was like Mother. She was in that movie Mother. I think it was like, yeah, she like married the director of that movie.
Okay. Maybe I'm just starting shitty Hollywood rumors.
Yeah.
But
gonna
I
tweet
mean,
about that.
I don't know. Like, they would be cute.
Yeah, but Leonardo DiCaprio was like notoriously single. Like, and I mean, he is to the point where you are so famous.
Is he single? I thought he was
No.
married too.
No, he's definitely not married. He's like fucking. He's like George Clooney.
Yeah.
They're like they're just like, dude. First of all, do you
He's
know
like,
who
I just
am?
want to fuck.
Yeah, and they can. But that's the thing, though, is they absolutely
They have
can.
so much
Oh, yeah,
access to pussy. It's
definitely.
just like,
I think there's legitimate interviews where it's like Leonardo will just tell people up front, look you in the face, and say once they get 25, that's when they get old and stale. Like I just gotta.
he's gonna be one of those guys he'll get married at like 55 and have a kid. Like then he'll be one of those old
I can
dads
see
or something
it.
like that.
Yeah, for sure. Because I mean, yeah, but when you're one of not only are you just drop dead handsome, but I mean you are one of the most recognizable people in the world.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you don't even need to be handsome if you're in that kind of power. I mean, if you're a famous movie star and stuff, I mean, I'm sure Seth Rogen gets his fair share of puss.
Oh, I'm sure Jack Nicholson fucks.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
crazy ass. Even at his age now,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's slinging dick left and right.
Yeah.
God, I'm envious of
I always think about that, like just like when you're like even though you're old, like you're still notoriously fucking, like Madonna. Like I bet people still fuck Madonna because she's Madonna. You
Did
know?
you ever see that video when she tried to like French Drake on stage and he was like, "What the fuck?"
I don't think
I think so.
It was
Yeah,
in the
I
middle
did.
of a concert. They were doing a show, and he was like sitting down. He goes and just shoves her fucking tongue in her mouth, mouth, and I don't know if he was having it because Drake's Drake. He could do whatever. He's in the same boat. He's probably swimming in it.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, sometimes he likes to swim in the kiddie pool. It seems like.
True.
There was rumors that he was like talking to Millie Bobby Brown.
Yes.
Yeah, I was trying to think of her name. Yeah.
Kind of like grooming, you know.
Yeah.
Now she swears he was just being an encouraging guy,
Like a mentor, like a big brother,
But
yeah.
I was like, but she's the only one.
No.
Right. I'm like, but he has like no business doing that, Like if he's not her manager or like any of that, like he has no business trying to like tell her what to do or like how she should be,
Oh, for sure.
It's one thing if you just like tweet like, "Hey Millie, keep it going. I love your work and stuff." But I feel like he was like they're like actively talking on Instagram and stuff, and maybe she's just trying to be nice and not want to out him because he's Drake. But I feel like there's
I get that vibe. Yeah, I feel like she's just trying to be nice and like.
You know who I believed like does like when Denzel Washington like helped Chadwick Boseman out and stuff like that's what somebody who just legitimately wanted to help his acting career because he had no ulterior motive. But I always get weirded when I see older actors start like getting real like close with the real young actresses and stuff. Especially the underage ones.
Well, and that's what freaks me about show or like the movie, like like we just talked about, Don't Look Up, or like when I think of like who I personally feel like portrayed like snobbiness like amongst actors so well was The Boys, like the way that way that like the Seven act and like they just feel like they're diplomatic immunity and like stuff like that.
And to be honest with you, if we had superheroes, I feel like they'd act
100%.
more like that than they would
100%, and it's all like capitalized and marketed and like 100%. And then, like for real, I mean, it's just like all the shitty things you hear about people who are doing messed up stuff. It's just like I think of episode 1 of that show where Starlight, she's all excited to be part of the Seven. First thing, as soon as she goes in, she takes a leak in the bathroom and the fucking invisible guy's naked and they're jacking off.
Yeah.
Well, no. Apparently, remember in the show, it wasn't a sexual thing. Him in the bathroom, he's a voyeur. Like he does that constantly. It's kind of one of his weird things that he just likes to hide and look at people's personal lives and stuff, as well as arguments. And of course, the women's bathroom, that's where he catches gossip on it at this point.
Well, okay, well then the scene right after where like the fucking
Oh yeah, he's like, suck my dick.
yeah, and he's like,
Oh, that's that awkward dude. Who was the?
I was waiting.
yeah,
the
awkward
deep.
dude. Yeah, the deep.
I was waiting for you to be like, well, actually, that's not.
If that's sexual harassment, lock me up.
Are you just the Seven's publicist? Like,
I would hate being
speaking
the
of
publicist.
oh my god, that girl that played that job, like the one that's always all stressed, like
Oh,
the redhead.
yeah.
I loved her
Oh my
so much.
God.
She was so funny.
She seems like a stressed publicist, like,
Right.
Trying to manage how what's his face Homelander takes down a plane and doesn't save anybody on the plane, or how
Oh
he
my
just,
god, yeah.
you saw the new season we just fucking basically did he kill that guy, the one blind
Oh
dude?
yeah, the blind guy.
No, he
yeah.
took away his hearing.
Yeah, he's like
He's
boom,
both.
and he's like
Yeah, so he's like, no. Oh, that's what he said. He's like, what happens if I do this? He's like, now you're just some other dumb fucking blind guy. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like okay,
Yeah.
just ruin this
he
guy's
plays
life.
such a perfect
brutal.
asshole.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I believe he's like a vindictive.
Well, look at that chin and that hair, dude. Like that is asshole.
He's a handsome guy.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
handsome.
He was in a show called Banshee too that was on Showtime, where he played like a sheriff in a small town and he would just beat the fuck out of people, and it was really good.
I'm pretty excited for that new season of The Boys. We've been kind of eagerly waiting for that.
What's his face from Supernatural? Jensen Ackles is going to be playing. What is it?
Soldier Boy?
Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how they're going to show them in like the World War II, him beating the fuck out of people. And
Right. I always liked that, but again, kind of like the same feelings I get from that movie we all just watched. It's just like I feel so powerless at watching both of those shows. Like inevitabilities of like if Homelander were just a fucking snap for no reason, or there's a meteor coming to Earth,
Yeah.
and there's literally like my own country is doing everything they can to not do anything about it.
that's why Batman had a contingency plan for everybody in the
Right now, no
Yeah.
shit.
Justice League.
And then they all got mad at him. I was like, shut the fuck up, you guys. Like, if it were you, if you had come up with the idea first, you wouldn't be mad. But Batman did.
It's funny because if you read the comics and some of the stuff that he does for the contingency plans for him, it's kind of fucked up.
Oh, yeah,
Like
definitely.
for Aquaman, his contingency plan was he'd spray him with this mist and it would make him hydrophobic, afraid of water. And he'd basically dehydrate his body and die.
Oh shit.
For the Flash, he has this vibrating bullet that he can phase through, but anytime he tries to phase, he starts having light speed seizures.
Oh.
That's like real torturous shit. Not just like, capture him and and do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's
Quick, Robin, get the speed net.
and of course, Superman is some kryptonite bullshit that he
Right.
probably shoots at him. And
It's all like, but it's like fucked up. So it's like an enema. You know what I mean? Like he has to shove it in his ass, like just because he just hates
Deep in
himself.
there.
Yeah, they're all torturous actually for no reason other
good
than
luck sneaking that in there.
Yeah.
But I heard actually the new Flash movie that they're coming out with is supposed to erase Henry Cavill and
Oh, they're gonna
Ben
try
Affleck.
again. Oh, so they're gonna try again for both of them.
No.
Well, no, they're gonna have what's her face be Supergirl. That's gonna be Supergirl in the movie, and Batgirl are gonna be the ones that are gonna take over, and that's not going to work. Okay, it's
I don't
not.
see that
You can't take away the two most popular people
Yeah.
in the Justice League and just be like, here's the female.
Like, I
version of-
agree that they need to, like, diversify and,
Yeah.
like, start going into, like, other characters' backgrounds, but I don't think that's how you
But
do
you know what it
it
is? It's almost like a bad taste in your mouth because it has something to do with DC. Because I had no idea about that, but when you said it, they've done so many blunders already. I'm just like, I already have a bad taste in my mouth. But we've confirmed Natalie Portman as in Love and Thunder.
I'm excited for
which
that.
I'm very excited for.
See, if you
So-
do it right, people will
Yeah.
love it, and I'm so excited
Source
to see
material.
Natalie Portman kick ass.
Same.
It's literally just going off of source material. And there's the girl, I forget her name. She's the black chick that goes to MIT and she becomes the new star. She becomes the new Iron Man.
Ironheart.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Did they already cast somebody?
No,
Oh,
they didn't. But it's like,
Sure.
I think they were talking about Zendaya doing that.
well, it's MJ.
Yeah. Right.
Is that somebody else that does that? Who isn't that? I don't know.
No,
I
it
don't know
is
her in
someone.
the comic.
It is someone else.
Yeah, it is somebody else, but I think that they're
Oh,
going to
and-
go that route.
I mean, yeah, you could have her do whatever she wants. She's on top of the world right now.
Because that's where they were going was MIT, so it's like...
Yeah. The problem
Oh,
with the
sorry,
DCEU
spoilers,
is it's been over a week since that movie came
Yeah.
out. If you're on any social media, everything's been spoiled for that movie. But the problem with them was they were just trying to play catch up.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't going to take the time that Marvel did. Build one person, move it up,
Yeah.
another movie, and then slowly build its thing. Like,
They were like, well, just mash everybody into one movie and hopefully it works. And I'm like, it didn't.
The
like,
first Wonder Woman was great. I loved it.
I
as
liked
World
that
War II.
one.
The second
Yeah.
one, I was not a
Yeah.
huge fan of. It was a
Yeah.
little too much crowd service, but they're trying too much too quickly. And now that they realize that they fucked up, and everybody loved the Snyder version, it was 4 hours long, and people fucking
Oh, it was worth it,
loved
though. Oh, it was worth it.
And instead of just being like, okay, maybe we made a mistake, let's try and continue off this. We're like, no, let's just erase everything in the Flash movie and start from scratch. They don't have like a Kevin Feige
Right.
They don't have somebody that cares about the source material and cares where it goes. They're just trying to keep pumping out whatever they can to play catch up, and hopefully, because Warner Brothers is looking at Disney like, well, we need to be making that superhero money. We have all the DC characters and stuff, so they're just doing too much too quickly, and we know. See, it's like what I appreciated what they did about Spider-Man is they didn't do the Uncle Ben thing again.
Right.
We saw that. The new Batman movie, I appreciated they didn't go through the same killing him with the Ben Affleck, which I didn't like Ben Affleck at first, but he kind of grew on me a little bit as a Batman. He was not my favorite, but I could appreciate him. But they didn't do his parents getting killed again. Like we've seen that done. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to the new Batman. I think what's his face, Robert Pattinson. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to kill it.
I hope so.
If they make him the Batman, I would be more than happy.
They gave him a pretty stellar cast of people to help him out. Because I mean, what's his name is the Riddler, the kid from
Paul Dano.
Yeah, Paul Dano. He's from Little Miss Sunshine, right?
Yeah.
He's the brother. Yeah, fantastic
Perfect
guy. Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Man.
Apparently, he doesn't have a huge role in the film, but he's pretty prominent in it. I think Zoe Kravitz playing Catwoman is fantastic. I think she's a perfect.
She's a babe.
Yeah. And she's married to Jason Momoa, right? Mm-hmm. That's okay.
Yeah.
Lucky girl. Huh?
Seriously.
But
can you imagine having a dad like Lenny, dude?
Lenny Kravitz tried so hard to be the new Jimi Hendrix. I remember him so badly, trying to be that rock and roll.
Well, with a last name like Kravitz, you can't really.
You lose the black audience, right?
Yeah, you can't really do that.
But I just wish they had somebody in the DC universe that would for at least for the movies just be like, okay, we're gonna start here. It's gonna take time. Mm-hmm. If you want it done right and done well, where people actually like it and go see it like they'll see the Spider-Man movie. Mm-hmm. You need to take some time. You can't just throw shit to the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the best DC thing that I've seen, honestly, besides any of the movies, I mean, to be quite honest, there's not a single one that I'm like, oh, well, maybe the Harley Quinn ones. I liked Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey.
I like her, but I don't understand. I understand why they keep pushing her because people love her.
Oh, yeah, people love her.
But
which is weird because I never really liked her until Margot Robbie.
Why is she in the Suicide Squad? She has no power. She's just a crazy bitch with a bat and a gun.
Yeah.
They don't explain anything to how did she learn how to fight? I'm like, everybody
because women can do
just the vat of acid, I guess.
Yeah, anything. First of all,
that new Suicide Squad was great though.
I like it.
And they're doing the Peacekeeper show on HBO.
I'm hesitant on that one.
Really?
I really think that the whole Peacekeeper thing was just like a one-trick pony of just funniness. I don't think it's going to be a good show, but
I guess we'll see.
Again, because of where it's from, which is DC, I naturally have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. So.
I know, and it's so hard to get excited. Like I said, the only thing I'm excited for in the future of DC is the new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson.
Have you seen Doom Patrol?
Doom Patrol, yeah.
No, that's on HBO though, right?
Yeah.
Good show.
I love Doom Patrol. I think it is really good, and I think they did a good. It can get a little kind of all over the place sometimes.
Is
where
it
you're just
funny
kind of
too?
Yeah, super funny. But there's definitely sometimes where I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's really good.
Actually, the Titan show on HBO is okay. I think it's okay.
I didn't like the Trigon fight.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, what is that? I thought it was awful CGI, and I think they just could have made it better.
Yeah, that's how I feel about the Flash TV show.
Yeah,
the CGI and stuff just kind of takes me out of it. It's just
yeah, and I'm like, Trigon is supposed to be huge, larger than life, and they made him maybe 12 feet tall.
I know. I mean, maybe they're doing what they did with the Dark Knight trilogy, where it's more humanized. They're not these over the top.
That's what I think.
The problem that DC has that Marvel doesn't is, I mean, it's superheroes are all over the top, but all their stuff is so cartoony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why it works so well in the animated series, and everybody loves those animated series with Justice League and everything. But it's so hard to translate that into a coherent world where it's not okay, this is just silly and stupid. I mean, some of the names are kind of ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they started too big too soon. Superman was their first hero, an alien from another planet who could do everything. You kind of, put the cart before the horse here, and they're like, "Well, we got to give him some sort of weakness." Okay, some rock from his.
Right.
That's how we're gonna start. He's DC's like the kid on the playground when you play superheroes. Oh yeah, well, I also have invulnerability, and you know what? I am faster than a bullet.
I can breathe
Devin,
cold.
so
I went back in time.
Yeah.
What's that? Ice breath.
And that's what Marvel has an advantage. Their first superhero was a Human Torch, but their first big run of it was Captain America, which is believable. A super soldier who's a little stronger, a little faster. Than you could slowly build up, and that's why they did it so well with the MCU. They started with Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which was very believable.
Yeah.
It's just a rich guy who can make a suit. And that's why people love Batman so much. It's because he's probably the most believable superhero.
Yeah.
He's just a rich guy with gadgets who kicks ass.
Yeah.
And they slowly built up the world where he's just fighting somebody who's trying to take over his company. And then they slowly kind of built out the thing. Not just okay, well, Batman's fighting an alien now. And it's like the first or second in the iteration of the movies. You're like, okay, I got to kind of suspend a lot of disbelief, but
Right. I don't know.
I
hope they.
I really do. They have a lot of good characters.
Exactly. I love DC characters like Poison Ivy. Ugh.
Lewis, let's go.
My fave.
Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh my god.
It's you guys right now. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. I don't like no superheroes.
You're not a superhero?
Oh, of course I am. I just don't know a lot about DC. My dad was a huge Marvel guy my entire life, so he just chucked Spider-Man and Doctor Strange comics at me and The Incredible Hulk. I didn't really know a lot about DC.
Up until Spider-Man came out, he was like, yeah, we'll just wait. We'll wait.
Well, same thing with me.
And then it came and he was like, I got to see it tonight, babe.
Yeah.
We have to go tonight. Like, and I was like, okay.
You got to think, aside from Spider-Man, most of the stuff us growing up in our generation was Batman and those type of things. I mean, what else?
Because WB.
Yeah.
Because you had Justice League Super Show and you had, like Dark Knight. And
Teen Titans cartoon.
Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
And Static Shock. And
now, remember, they did have the X-Men series in the 90s.
And they put it all on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah,
and they're making new episodes with the original animation style and 90s intro.
Are they really?
Yeah,
yeah.
dude.
When is that supposed to come out?
I have no fucking clue, but
apparently
it's a
I think.
So it's just pure nostalgia. Like, and they're new episodes just in the old format.
Did you hear who they might be casting as the Fantastic Four? There was a leaked rumor of the actual, and this is more legitimate one, not just some like Reddit fucking.
Right.
No, spill the tea.
So, Glenn Howerton from It's Always Sunny is supposed to play Reed Richards.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know the guy who's playing the Human Torch.
I was waiting for you just to be like Rob McElhenney.
No.
Like it's just the
But
Always
guess who's
Sunny
supposed to be
gang.
playing the Thing.
Who?
Seth Rogen.
Oh really?
Oh. Okay.
It's clobbering time. Like it's just. Hey, let's just smoke some weed, beat up Dr. Doom.
I'll go see that just for the comedic value.
Well, yeah, that's going to be him as Donkey Kong.
Is Chris Pratt in here too?
I know, is Chris Pratt in here? See the voice of the thing?
I hope not. But like I said, I never judge any casting that they do because they're pretty on the nose when it comes to.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really been anybody in the Marvel thing that were like, that's shitty.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's coming in the next Thor: Love and Thunder. He plays what's his face, the God Killer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that.
So get ready for that shit. Batman's coming to whoop ass.
I know, dude. he's like a crazy method actor too. So I don't know if they're ready. This guy's gonna think he's literally the God Killer. Like,
Oh no, he's a psycho, definitely for sure.
How do you feel about like random people interactions on the street? Are you one to avoid them, or are you one to like entertain it? Like if you have someone like who's like insane on the streets and they're like yelling at you because you know maybe you want a story for comedy or you just want to tell your buddies, like, do you interact?
I do. I'm pretty good at gauging where if it's just crazy for crazy or like this is a dangerous crazy, like this guy might pull a knife on me, and then I avoid the situation. And then, you know, I'd say 9 times out of 10, there's some days where I'm just like, I just don't feel like talking to anybody or doing this.
Yeah.
But I do find it funny sometimes hitting these crazy people.
It usually is one of my favorite things, but I kind of agree with you too. Like my whole thing is like, yeah, like, is it just like mentally unstable crazy, or are you gonna splash like acid in my face?
I'll give you an example. I was on the light rail. The 2 times I was ever on the light rail, I had incidences, and it was really bad. So one, there was a guy, me and my buddy were just going and doing some bar hopping, and we decided to take the light rail. And there was a guy who had like 3 or 4 missing teeth in the front. He had a red Pikachu hat on. Cool. Sweaty.
Cool guy.
Sweating balls.
Yeah.
And he just started talking to us, and he was like, hey, man, could you look up the number for the FBI? You know, I thought, you know, my sister's been kidnapped and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, there's a story here. Right. I was like, okay. So I started talking to the guy, like, how did he get kidnapped? She's like, you know, she was on to some weird shit. And, you know, I think, you know, they finally were watching her computer and her phone and stuff, and they grabbed her and stuff. And then he got mad at my buddy Jake because Jake wasn't paying attention. He's like, I'm sorry, you too good to not listen to me? And I'm like, oh, this guy's bad shit. But he was a limp with a cane, so I knew if he attacked somebody, I could take him down.
Check this out. I don't know. I love this video, and I rediscovered it after like a year and a half. But it's one of my favorite videos. This dude's just out of all places out at a Walmart. Mm-hmm. So it is a 50-50 shot that you're gonna run into some insane mentally.
Yeah. That's half the fun of going to a Walmart.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So I just wanted to.
Have you ever looked at people of Walmart?
Yeah, just give them a look.
I love that
God
website.
awful human beings.
I like to play a game called Where Are You Going After This?
Yeah.
Kind of like the way that you're dressed, and I'm just like, what kind of house are you going to? Like, what are you going to do when those groceries are put away? Are you going to leave your groceries in your car? Like, do you have a car? Did you fly here on your Talking Dragon? So I love this video, and I wanted to show you just to kind of see what. I have to check this out.
Lay it on me.
Just trying to help you.
I'm sorry, but I don't need your help.
Yes, you do, motherfucker. You do need my help, sir. Can't you see that, you son of a bitch?
Could you please just let me check out my groceries?
Fuck you, I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
Wow, this is...
You gotta ask Jesus Christ.
I don't have to do anything.
We're all sinners.
Okay.
He's not gonna force you to do it.
You're sinning right now.
No, I'm not, motherfucker. You fucking accuser. Get the fuck out of
You
here.
didn't hear him. He said, "You're sinning right now," and that just flipped the switch on this lady, dude.
Fucking accuser. You motherfucking accuser. Get the fuck out of here.
Like she owns the place.
Fucking accuser.
Ma'am.
Accuser of the fucking brethren, you motherfucker.
Just keeps going.
I'm pissed because you won't repent.
That's what's dangerous about those types of people, is they genuinely think that they're helping you.
Oh yeah.
Fuck you. I'm trying to help you, motherfucker.
That's fucking crazy.
But that situation, because in that situation, I feel no physical danger, because if she attacked me, like I said, I'll sweep like that bitch real quick.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm not worried about it. But that, I would go over the top crazy back at her. I would go back and start talking like, that's not what Satan told me, and
Yeah.
start like, and shit like that.
Ali's like, you want to get crazy? She'll cut her fucking hair.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll show you fucking crazy.
Just start speaking in tongues. You're like, blah, blah, blah.
Crazy only recognizes crazy.
Yeah.
You cannot calmly be like, what are you talking about, miss?
Yeah.
Please leave me alone.
It's like a bear dance. You just have to look bigger than the other person. But I gotta say, that is the most brash recruitment of religious Christianity that I've
know.
ever seen. I
an
can't
accuser.
like
And
the way
that's
that
exactly why people are falling away from the church. And people
disagreeing while also threatening, but also trying to be helpful is the most ballsy.
Yes, you do, motherfucker.
Like that's fucking crazy.
I have a friend who's actually like that. He's a flat earther, and he's very religious. I don't know if he's like one of the Black Israelites or something like that, or in one of those. But he literally, like this Christmas, he went to a mall and started screaming, "Santa's not real!" when they were
You
doing this.
motherfucking accuser.
Yeah,
Get
right
the
in Santa's
fuck
face.
outta here.
Oh, that's a fucking great clip.
That's crazy, dude. He it's the flat Earth thing. Have you ever gone down that rabbit hole?
Oh yeah, but it's very easy to not, because it's
Yeah.
fucking stupid.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
dude. I watched this whole.
I think
video.
I maybe got 5 minutes into it, and I was like, who the fuck?
And it's like it's like it makes sense for what his religious feelings are. It's like but he's in the same boat where he thinks he's saving your soul, or he thinks he's helping you. He's he actually went to one of this Republican convention in Dallas where Donald Trump was speaking earlier this year. And a lot of big Republican names, and he was going to him, and he was saying stuff like, the Bible says the Earth is flat. It's on the first page. We live in a dome, or something like that. And he actually tricked a few of the famous politicians. I can't remember his name. Is a pretty prevalent black politician with gray hair. And he was like, hey, yeah, let me get a picture. And then immediately started screeching Bible version and stuff about how the Earth is flat and stuff. First Friday, he'll be on the streets on Roosevelt.
You know this guy?
Yeah, I went to high school with him. He wasn't always like this.
Oh.
Yeah. So I grew up with him, and we have a lot of friends in the same groups and stuff. But he kind of went off the rails.
People
as of
change. People
Crazy,
change.
like overnight.
But he legitimately gets into arguments with people and over this stuff, and I find it hilarious.
Yeah.
I find it utterly hilarious that he thinks that anybody's
Because you know this guy, and you're also just dude.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good kickboxer too, which kind of.
Oh, so you got to be yeah, dude, for sure. Yeah, world's
Yeah.
flat. Yeah,
No, what bothered me about the Santa Claus thing was, besides obvious fucked up things that's going on in the mall, he did it around a bunch of moms. He wouldn't do that shit around a bunch of dads, because a bunch of dads would have beat the fuck out of him. You start ruining your kids, Christmas and stuff like that. But I think it's bordering mental illness.
Yeah, I mean some of it really is. I mean, these people are so influenced by the most obscure thing. And what's crazy is that even in this documentary, little mini documentary that I watched, this guy, they have answers for everything. And even the questions that you feel are completely there is no other answer other than well, then I guess you're right. They have answers for it. One of the big ones was what if I put you in a rocket? Okay. What if I put you in a rocket and we went up in the sky and you actually physically saw the curvature of the Earth? They have a whole thing prepared about how their holograms projected by NASA, they don't even want their astronauts to see it.
Yeah.
Like
That's the problem. It's
Yeah.
not just believing one thing. It's this long trail of beliefs that you have to.
right.
That's why I don't believe in big conspiracy theories, like on a global scale, because first of all, you get enough people in it, somebody's going to fuck it up and spill. The more people involved in any sort of conspiracy. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe some outlandish shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm not one to, and I like having these weird conversations, but it's bordering on berating people and like going into their personal space and yelling at them in public.
Yeah.
Like you're not helping anybody here, man.
Yeah.
I think of it the same way as this. So I think of like a guy who's like extremely pro gun, goes into a Chipotle with an AR-15 just because he can, because legally you can open carry.
Oh, he has no intent. He's just gonna walk around in there.
Yeah,
and
he
be
just
an
wants to
asshole.
prove a point. But I see that is the same person as like a shaved head girl going into In-N-Out Burger screaming, "You guys are all fucking murderers for eating meat and stuff." I was like, nobody's gonna change their minds
Right.
and be on your side
by you screaming at me.
by doing
Yeah.
this. You bring an AR-15 into a Chipotle. I mean, I don't have a problem with guns, but that makes me uncomfortable a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. You're clearly a little crazy.
Right, like I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what your intentions are. All I see is you coming in here with this big gun because you can.
Yeah.
But even if I
Like,
didn't know who you were, I'd be like, "What are you doing?" Like,
yeah, like
And you
I
know-
mean, I would probably just leave. I would just be like, okay, well, bye.
It's like when they stormed the Capitol last year.
Yeah,
There are so many reasons to storm the Capitol.
right,
Right.
Their reason was not a great
that
one.
was not
exactly.
the reason.
Yeah.
Like, if they stormed the Capitol because of this Epstein stuff and, like, all these
Yeah.
leaders may be part of this big conspiracy, I'd be like, you know what? God bless you. Okay,
Right.
go for it. But it's this weird, like, and it's everybody thinks they're fucking patriots. And it blows my mind. It's all about freedom.
They give that speech, they're just like, it's about freedom, it's about my rights, and then they're like, let's fucking rape Nancy Pelosi in her fucking desk. Like, what the shit,
like,
bro? Like,
fuck Nancy Pelosi, but it's like, what are you talking about? Most people don't care about freedom; they care about their freedom.
right.
Yeah.
It's really the same thing. People say they want religious freedom. They don't. They want their religious freedom.
Right.
Yeah.
And then if you're a Muslim, you should be bugged, or you should,
Right.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure.
I mean, you know how many funny Jewish conspiracy
Which
theories?
is just like, it's funny to me that they think that they don't have any freedom because they essentially almost pretty much got away with storming the fucking Capitol.
Yeah.
If it were a bunch of black people, they'd all be dead.
Oh no, that's true. Like I said, if it
Like-
was, let's say if it was on the other foot and Trump won the election,
Yeah.
and people on the left decided to storm the Capitol, they'd be yelling, "Terrorists! This, lock them up, shoot them down," and then they got pissed off when one of the girls got shot and killed. They were like, "What? You didn't have to do that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's kind of his job."
Right.
There's like
we have
100
legitimate Mongoloids just raiding the Capitol.
Yeah.
right
and
now.
people were in there like smoking weed and shit. Like,
taking pictures at
Yeah.
like at the office and stuff. Like
do you really think this wasn't going to come back to you? And a lot of them got arrested. And that
Yeah.
Viking guy was like, "I need a vegan diet in jail and shit." I was
Yeah.
like, "Fuck you." Throw him.
Maybe you should have thought about that.
It's just like I said.
you know how hard that dude's dick was the entire time. By the way,
Oh.
until he was told he was going to jail.
Then it was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how much they backpedal all of a sudden when they get caught. All this, they're not all of a sudden patriots anymore. It's just like, I just get caught up in it's.
Yeah.
I would, like I said, there's so many things that you could have stormed the Capitol about, all the fucked up stuff going on in our country.
Right.
But it's like, now's the time that you guys got all together and started doing this shit.
I don't even want to storm the Capitol. I just want to kick in my landlord's door and be like, "Why is my rent so high?"
And it keeps going up. It's
Yeah.
just-
Yeah.
well, that's Phoenix in fucking general, man. This is unfortunately becoming a California-esque place to live as far as.
My question with that is, I don't understand why though. It's like I've lived here most of my life, and I'm just like, this place isn't really not much to write home to.
Well, I
other
mean,
than
if
the
you
fact,
if you really think about it, I mean, we don't really get bad storms or anything.
No, that's
We don't-
true.
It
just gets hot. But I guess
It gets hot, but I mean,
inside.
originally before this all started, we were fairly affordable to live.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Arizona was affordable until everybody started moving here, and then it's like, all the people who can afford 5 houses buy up 5 houses and completely saturate the market for us. So it's
yeah.
like,
Because their 2-bedroom house in California is like for $2 million or
Yeah.
something like that.
Do you think this guy stormed the Capitol?
Vote for Trump!
Oh yeah.
Vote for Donald John Trump! Give the man your vote!
Can you
Vote for
explain
Trump.
to people who are listening right now where he's doing this?
On a street, just walking down the street while people are eating dinner,
Brother,
and I don't know. I think
vote for Trump!
yeah, people just having lunch
Yes!
or
Does he
something.
get
Surely
punched in
you
the
guys
face?
know what's best for
That would be
America. You're
hilarious
going
if
to give
he
your
did.
vote to Donald John Trump, right? Is that what you're going to do? Whatever you say,
Okay,
ma'am.
now the waitress said
It
something, too.
certainly won't be you I'll be sticking it in. I promise you that, lady.
You know, this guy seems like he has a lot going for him in life.
That
right?
was pretty cool. I'm not
That
gonna
was the
lie.
coolest
That
guy
was a
stuff.
pretty cool response right there.
But this is the point I make. It's like, can you honestly show me whose mind you've changed by doing that?
Right.
There's
Oh
not-
no, it gets worse. I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is better.
Libtards! Hello, you fucking filthy lib! Oh, another pedo supporter! He supports Pedo Joe! Wow! Woo! How about you, man? Come on. Trump.
I hate it.
Bro, pull your head out, man. Stop watching mainstream media. Get your news from your own sources. Watch live streamers. Watch the
Get it from your own sources.
What does that mean?
That means think about it at your house. Like, yeah, come up with your own news at your house.
To be honest with you, I think a lot of that has to do with this is social media. I think we're finally starting to see the pitfalls of what social media does to us and everybody having an opinion all the time. And we're still in the middle of this experiment of what this does psychologically to people. And this is one of those things where you get into those echo chambers. And don't get me wrong, right and left both do this.
Yeah.
Where they're just kind of sucking each other off, and it's just the same thing. And they all think that they're the enlightened ones. And you know, CNN, Fox, and all that. Don't get me wrong, I have problems with mainstream media as well, but they think their weird backroom channel or some weird YouTube channel that they follow is like that's the source of news. Like,
Right.
Why would any of them have have an interest in telling us the truth? It's bullshit.
Or would you? Let's see.
between each bite of your food.
Okay.
Yes?
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, he's talking shit
Follow
about
Governor Newscom's decrees.
Newscomb.
And put on your mask between each bite of your food. Yes?
We got great names for them.
Yeah.
Vote
love
for
it.
Trump.
right in the restaurant. Right in the restaurant. I love his the unsincerity of like masks. The guy who just wants to make you feel like a pile of garbage just because you're trying to just do your part.
Yeah.
You know? Put it back after every bite, you moron.
Yeah.
Just come on, dude. And again, like you said, like what I want to meet the person that's just like, honey, I gotta go home because I'm gonna go vote for Trump now.
You know,
So take care. You know what I mean? Like
I voted liberal my entire life, but some guy called me a faggot at Dunkin' Donuts, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe this guy has a point. You know, so it's like
called me a pole sitter and insulted my wife.
I know. It's just,
It certainly won't be you I'll be sticking it in. I promise you that, lady.
That's a cool line right there. I gotta say, that's a
America's done.
That's a
This
guy.
country is
That's
on
a
the
guy. If you look at
downward
his
slope.
YouTube search history in 2012, it's all like wrecked compilations. 2012, you know,
Yeah.
like just like you know, dumb feminist cringe compilation. That's where he gets those from.
God, between that and people buying digital monkeys for $500,000, it's like, where are we going? This isn't sustainable. We're on the verge of a collapse here.
It is almost beautifully like how ironic that is to represent capitalism.
Yeah, this metaverse that people are just buying up odd shit because of this weird digital landscape.
Oh, dude, yeah, we're gonna be Total Recall soon, man. Like,
You think?
Oh, yeah. I don't think it's gonna be like Cyberpunk. I think it's gonna or it's gonna be like WALL-E, dude.
Or the Matrix.
Yeah.
Something like that plugged in. And
We can't leave our house because our planet is 98% toxic air. But everything I want, I don't even have to get up anymore. You might as well just put tubes in my throat so I can breathe. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, for sure. Well, like the whole like Zuckerberg thing, like that thing that like he renamed it to Meta, and they're making a legitimate like you
virtual
can,
reality.
You can have your team meetings here. You can meet up with friends here. You could. It's just like, why would I ever want to leave my house ever again? It's almost like the human condition to just be like, you're making it so easy for me. That's like I literally don't have to do anything.
But I don't understand the appeal of it, to be honest.
I personally I don't either.
Now, I understand if you're buying and selling NFTs just to make money because it's a big boom. By all means,
and you know what you're doing. Yeah, for
go
sure.
make your money. But if you people can put up their houses on these things. You can make NFTs out of your apartment. Well, not the apartment because you don't own the apartment technically. But if you have a home and stuff, you can just make an NFT of your own home, sell it. And then they even, what's that guy, Gary Vaynerchuk or whatever, he was like, even put it into your contract when you sell your home, you get 1% of whatever the NFT sells of this home. And the guy you sell it to probably doesn't give a shit for the most part. Like, yeah. But in perpetuity, now you have constantly making money off that house even after you sell it because you have the NFT of it. I still don't know what it is, what these NFT. I mean, I know what it is in a sense. It's like these digital things that you own. It's like having a painting in real life, but only you have that.
Right.
Yeah, but
but it's like, but you don't.
Because I could screenshot it or like,
right.
You don't put a watermark on it because then it ruins it.
Well, it's another bubble. It's gonna pop. It's these things can't be selling for $250,000 and expect this to be maintained unless I mean, are we anywhere closer to actually being inside of a meta universe? I mean, or is it just like a Second Life kind of video game, or like a shitty Sims,
Right.
Yeah.
where you're just like, oh, you're just yourself walking. I mean, they have the VR stuff, and but it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it has no appeal to me. I mean, I was literally telling Allie today that it just like I get depressed when I don't even leave my house at all. I mean, the fact that I got up at 9 and it's 6:30 now. The only time I left my house was to go pick up food. I feel like a zoo animal. Like I really do some
I get
days.
it.
Like I just walk around until my next feeding, and it just like but then she brings up a great point. She goes, "Then go do something."
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what I want to do. I literally it's like that, like what Heath Ledger says in Batman. It's like if I'm a dog and I'm chasing cars, I finally catch one. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
Yeah.
Just like I'm gonna go outside, take a deep breath, and be like, oh, and then I'm gonna go back inside.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's just like it's this weird thing. Like because I had to go outside to go to work, to go to school, and it's like now I don't have to do that anymore. It's just like it's weird.
It's still that kind of psychological withdrawal that we have from the lockdown.
Yeah.
I think we were so bottled up and we've never done that before. Everybody shut up in their homes for a year. In some places, it's still going on. Australia,
Yeah.
some other places where they're still having the lockdowns. I can only imagine what it's like going through there. But people are social animals.
Yeah.
You start losing your shit after a while when you don't interact with somebody. Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way. If I spend a day or two where I just don't go out and I don't do anything, I'm just like, well, I feel like a hermit.
Yeah.
Like in a
What was
prison.
the point of living those 2 days? Is like how I feel. It's just like.
Playing video games or some shit, but that's.
Well, I mean, to each their own. I mean, some people just like that. I mean, some people really do like that. You have to have the personality that, and I'm not going to judge you if you are a homebody.
Mm-hmm.
If that's what you want to do, that's fine. My problem is that I feel like I don't want to do it, but if you tell me what do you want to do, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't want to go walk around the mall or I guess we can go out to eat, but therein lies the issue that I'm just spending money that I'm just going to shit out later. I don't want to go see my
all food,
parents.
though, right?
Yeah. I don't want to go see my parents, so it's like really, what do I want to do? It's just a weird feeling. Like it's like this, it's the illusion of no choice to be in my home.
I think people are slowly going insane.
Yeah.
In mass, not just an individual insanity where people, that always happens, but between the lockdown and all the craziness that's happened the past year, I think people are, and like I said, we're starting to see the ramifications of social media, everybody having an opinion all the time, sitting in their echo chambers. People are going to slowly start losing their minds. And I don't think it's until something major happens.
Well, I think you bring up like an interesting point because like I feel like at this point I don't want to leave my house because like everybody's just gotten so like kind of like off the rails and unhinged, and
it's scary.
It's scary. Like I don't like leaving the house anymore because I'm just like there could just be some crazy person.
It's great for comedy.
Yeah.
It really is. It gives you a lot to talk about.
Right.
But you could see it in people.
Yeah.
You could see this kind of, and over the past few years, people have lost faith in institutions. They've lost faith in medicine and doctors and stuff. Now, people are telling doctors, you're fucking wrong.
Right.
I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I was like,
yeah.
They think all doctors are in this giant conspiracy theory that they're, trying to, indoctrinate people with vaccines and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people still think Jews are trying to take over the world, and so I wish that were the case. I'm not.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
I'm not on the email list.
Right.
Are you? Okay, so we're missing
Not
out
one
on that.
email. Not one email have I received.
That was the funniest one. Is the Jewish conspiracy, because they're like they've taken up major positions of power and entertainment, and it's like, okay, so you're not mad that we're doing it. We're mad because it's not you.
Right. No, that's exactly what it is. And that has been going on since, Nazi Germany.
Yeah, we had to.
That was literally one of Hitler's main things, is that he is in, the Jews are in charge of everything. I have to be careful because I have a friend that likes to cut it and edit what I say. So don't do that. I'm Team J. Don't worry about it. No, man, that one has always been really crazy to me too, because it literally is. It's because you're not. It always reminds me of that Family Guy bit where it has the little weak Hitler in the gym.
Yeah.
And he can't get the dumbbells up, and he looks over as that big tough Jew with the two girls on it, and he's like,
shit.
it's all mad, and he's like, yeah, dude, that's literally what it is.
Uh-huh.
For all we know, so the reason, he was, we learned about this is that he had no intention. He wasn't even the starter of the party. Mm-hmm. He was actually working for the German government because he needed a job after World War I. Everyone in Germany was horribly poor and stuff like that. So he needed something to do. Got kicked out, or didn't go to art school, unfortunately. And then he was
those German Shepherd paintings are sick.
Right, dude, sick hotel art.
Scheiße.
Yeah. So then he, I was really stoned when we watched it. So I'm trying my best. Sound like an old dad right now talking about the History Channel. He was like supposed to spy on them, and like because there were other governments who were trying to usurp the German government. And what he ended up doing was he was just like, oh, well, I could probably sell this really good, and it looks like they don't have a lot of organization, so
The
I'll
beer
just jump.
hall push thing where everybody died, he ended up going to jail or getting shot.
He was just like, I'll take it over.
And the funny thing is, like, when you saw the majority of Jews that got killed in World War II, they weren't the rich elite Jews that he was talking about. It was poor farmer Jews and people living in outskirts, butchers and like lower class Jews that they killed. And I was like, he didn't go and start attacking, baking it because those guys were rich. They got the fuck out of Germany while the getting was good. But the funny thing about it is like they don't understand why.
No,
they did it because of safety. You're a lot less likely to have shit happen to you again if you're in positions of power. That's a kind of is whether you agree or disagree with like Israel or whatever. That's a whole nother story. But the reason they wanted that was because we're too scattered. We can't. We need to have like a body of Jewish people and a Jewish army in case something like this shit happens again.
Right.
And I feel bad. I feel bad for them because I feel like they're just so disconnected with reality, and they want. Here's the problem: there's two different types of people. There are people who believe something's true, and there are people who want to believe something is true. People who believe something is true could just be misguided. You were raised in the wrong household, you were raised by shitty people, or you heard the wrong things. Wanting to believe something is true is dangerous because you avoid facts.
Yeah.
You avoid truths and stuff. So you're like, I don't give a shit what you're showing me. And you're seeing that a lot now. I don't care what these fake things go. It's like, I want this to be true. And it's the same problem when you have with white people against black people as far as with the Black Lives Matters movement and stuff like that. A lot of the statistics and stuff they believe about them, I don't think they believe it. I think they want it to be true.
Yeah.
And that's where things get a little dangerous and people start believing in odd things, Jewish space lasers that what's her face that got banned from Twitter, that Mallory, I can't remember.
Yeah.
I was like, that's funny. I wish we had space lasers. Sign me up.
It really does make you think, like, it kind of bums you out because you're like, what if like my great-great-great-grandpa, like I could just show him like a day in my life of just like what has happened to the world that you left behind.
Yeah.
Not in like some kind of like, look how much we suck, but kind of more of just, but still be like, look at this anomaly of just like, yeah, like for real, like that's happening, like, and it's on TV right now, man. Like,
people always need a scapegoat.
Yeah.
No matter how shitty things are, they need somebody to blame for their problems because 9 times out of 10 people don't look inward. No, they're not saying, okay, what am I doing? Like if you're a poor white person that blames, immigrants for taking your job, most likely they didn't take your job.
Yeah.
Most likely you're just looking for a reason why you have a shitty job or no job at all.
Right.
And I don't know what to tell you. Mm-hmm. Go to school.
Right.
I don't know, take out some student loans. Or,
just go to school. Yeah. I mean, that's like
which is just stupid because they're complaining about the jobs that they won't do.
Right.
That's the problem. I mean, there's a comedian who had a joke. He's like, I was selling oranges on the side of the freeway until Javier came and took it up. I was like,
right.
We're not taking glamorous jobs and like positions of power and CEOs and stuff like that.
Right.
And that was some of the issue I had with some of the feminist movement too, like when they were talking about equality in jobs, how some jobs have over majority of men. And I'm like, that's very true, but it's not, they didn't want a lot of it. They wanted the positions of power, like CEOs, political power. And, they've made points, like garbage men, construction workers, bricklayers, plumbers, stuff like that are all basically fields dominated by men, but you don't really see people arguing to get fairness across the board in those fields. Sure. Yeah. Because, they're manual labor jobs and stuff like that. So I was like, if you want to be honest, just be honest across the board. And I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you about it. But it's just, I feel like people are just trying to find different ways to squeeze in their movement to push their power up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. I agree.
This is a house of women, so we disagree with you, but it's okay. I mean, it's wrong to. I'm sorry that you're that big dumb dick between your legs.
I know this stupid floppy thing.
Is clouding and it's clouding your mind. You know what I mean?
I'm not one of those. I promise.
Can't you see that, you son of a bitch?
I mean, and that's a problem too. I think a lot of stereotypes that men think about women and women think about men are still true. I mean, I'm not true, but they still think these things.
It's like it's like someone's uncle always says those stereotypes don't come from nowhere.
No, that's true. But like the typical sitcom stereotype. It's the dumb and bitchy show where the guy's dumb and the wife's always this complainer and bitchy, and it's like it's not reality. And stuff. Don't get me wrong. Men do some fucked up stuff.
Yeah. So do women, though.
Yeah. So I read a story about a woman who got arrested because she made 15 false rape accusations on 15 different men.
Yeah, good.
And what I said was, I was like, after 12, I think it's safe to say, okay, what were you doing? Okay, that's the only time where you can say that. But these power dynamics are shifting a lot, and people don't know how to handle it. Like I said, allegations are huge. You ever read a retraction? It doesn't matter if it comes back and they said it wasn't true. Certain things can just ruin somebody's fucking life. Somebody thinks you're racist, that's done. Even if it's not.
Yeah.
Somebody gets a false rape accusation, that sticks with you whether it comes out in court that wasn't true, or something like that.
But that's that gray area. But that's that gray area where you don't, like, at the end of the day, a lot of people like you and I will really never know if this was real intent or not. Because sometimes, in my opinion, that works out into the people's favor. For example, like Rittenhouse, sucks that he got acquitted on all these things, but civil suits for the rest of his life will be on his ass forever because of what he did.
Yeah.
He's definitely not out of the woods. He's already got kicked out of ASU. His future's already in jeopardy.
Yeah.
You know,
You got to do a lot to get kicked out of
and
ASU.
we had video
Yeah.
evidence of that guy. But this is where I'm coming, like from what you're saying, is that it does suck when there's no evidence about this. But as soon as you make that accusation, you like,
And it diminishes the other real ones too. And that's what bothers me.
right? I agree.
So every false one you have makes people question the real ones that actually come up. And these things happen.
Yeah.
More than I'd like to admit.
Oh, yeah.
And it's scary to think about. All it takes is some one idiot, and then it fucking ruins your entire, the next person that comes up, she's like, okay, well, we just read in the news that this woman lied about it, so now we can't really,
Right.
nobody believes you, when it's like, this is a legitimate claim.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Kyle Rittenhouse, too. Like you said, I don't like how polarized he gets with this stuff. I mean, you did kill somebody.
Yeah.
And I understand, regardless of whether you think it's whether it was justified or not, that should still sit with you. But he kind of sits on shows talking about getting pussy and like stuff. And I was like, I mean, I understand I know he thinks he's right, but I was like, this is a big thing that happened.
yeah, it's huge. People died, man.
Yeah.
And it's like the arrogance. I mean, you're at a bar underage, and it says "free as fuck" or something like that on your shirt. Like, how rude!
Well,
Like,
and he's talking about it like we won a basketball game or something like that. Like it's a fun, cherry thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I understand you may feel justified in it, but that's a huge, like, even if somebody
Where
broke.
it's like you showed up to a violent event with a gun and you didn't expect anything to happen. Like,
It's not only that, even if you owned a gun and somebody broke into your house and you shot them, 100% justified.
Yeah,
He had a gun
justified.
too. That would still bother you. Killing somebody
should. Well, it
Yeah.
should bother you.
it should.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sits. No matter how justified it is, it should have a weight. Killing somebody.
Yeah.
You're not in war. You're not in a situation where it's not black and white.
Well, it's not medieval times anymore. You're not a fucking sellsword that your whole job is killing people. We're in the fucking civilized society now where shooting someone, taking a life most people should never know what that's like.
No.
Yeah.
And I pray to God, but that's the problem. Like, I'm a gun owner, and I believe you should be able to own a gun. But some problem that I do have with some of the Second Amendment people is that I think some people want to shoot somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Yes.
You see funny and they joke about it. They're like memes. I saw one where these guys, they look like kind of ex-Marines or something like that. They're all sitting at their table. They all have their guns and stuff, and they're like polishing them off. And they're like, when that burglar finally breaks into your house, and it's some happy music, and they're all getting happy, getting into position to shoot somebody. I was like, I understand you getting it and the reason you using it, say it's for self-defense or whatever, but it's like, you shouldn't want that.
Right. Like it should be a last resort kind of thing. Like if
I
you
pray I
can,
never have to use a gun on another person in my life.
Right.
But people like it, and those type of people kind of ruin it for the more sane people in those camps.
Right.
I agree.
When I mean, not all people are like it, but it's like some people want you to have a hand grenade, be able to buy hand grenades and shit like that. There's some people that just want no laws, to it, but which. That's not the majority of them. That's the fringe. Majority of them still want the laws, but it's just like I don't understand. These people have a bloodlust. Some of them, and you saw some of that in the Capitol riot.
Yeah.
They couldn't carry a gun on there because if they started having guns, and
Oh yeah, massacred. Yeah.
it had gotten real sticky real quickly for those people. But there's these people who have this like idea, and like they wanted to overthrow the government, not because they necessarily think it should have been done, because they just want that feeling of righteous indignation. That they're hoping this is the moment, like this is it. This is because we have no big moments, unfortunately, in our generation. There's no big wars. We didn't have a Vietnam. We have the Middle Eastern wars, but that's such a controversial thing, and most people don't agree with it. Especially, I mean, we just got out of it after 20 years in Afghanistan, something like that. So that we have no defining moments as a generation, and people are looking for that. And they saw this last election. It got so polarized with everything. And, Donald Trump kind of brushing the fires a bit, saying it's, the same people like when Trump initially won, the people on the left are like, it's a Russian hack. And I'm like, it's not. It's not a fucking Russian hack.
Right.
It's the same. But then, of course, that's what it was the second time he lost. Now it's a Russian hack.
Yeah.
Right.
Now it's this because now they
Now there's voter fraud.
Yeah.
now there's voter fraud, which is ironic because it was Donald Trump that made it much more difficult to vote.
Right.
But it's this insidious wanting to have this defining moment, whether it be in blood or like to kind of prove themselves. Mm-hmm. I think that's why like I said, so I think some gun owners.
Yeah.
You ever see a guy who wants to fucking fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, it's like the littlest thing. He's looking for an excuse to punch somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So any little thing, you accidentally bump into him, you graze
It's go
his
time.
shoe.
Yeah.
He's just like, okay, I'm socking him up. I feel
He's
like,
already taking his shirt off.
yeah,
He's
you're like, so you are at, people are already at an 85%.
Yeah.
And they're waiting. They know they can't go full 100 because they'll get thrown in fucking jail.
Right.
So they're waiting for something to happen. And that's what you saw, I think, on the Capitol riots. They thought, okay, this was it.
Sir, we took our kids to Build-A-Bear. Why is your fucking shirt off right now? I'm sorry. Like,
You took up the last buttons, motherfucker. Okay.
hold my shirt, Billy. Yeah.
And I hope it calms down a bit. Like I said, Joe
Me
Biden
too.
is not. I think we accepted Joe Biden just because of how bad Trump.
And that's the
we
thing.
perceived
And
how
that's
bad
the
Trump
thing
was.
is anyone who says like you're just like, no, I just didn't vote for Trump. It's like, again, they're like that dude. Oh, you're the fucking pedo supporter. You're the
Right.
fucking libtard
I'm
retard.
sorry. Who had a video dancing with Epstein? That was Donald Trump. I love how that.
Who said he would fuck his daughter if it were socially acceptable? Like,
Exactly my point too. It's like I don't trust any of them.
Right.
Not a single person in a suit in Congress. I don't think any of them have our best intention.
they
at
don't.
heart.
no.
I think they're going to tell us what we want to hear in order to vote for them to make sure and keep things moving.
Mm-hmm.
But I find it hilarious when they talk about pedos and all these people on Epstein's Island when we have clear video of Donald Trump dancing and talking with him at like Mar-a-Lago or some shit. And like, you don't think
Yeah.
he made that plane ride over there and stuff. It's like
people
put on these like I said, they want something to be true. So they put on these fucking blinders and they're just like, no, what video? What are you talking about? No, that's all Biden and his family where you're having all that sex.
Trump's over there talking to Epstein.
Fuck yeah, brother. I'm hard as a rock.
It's on it's on camera. I think. Did you remember they did that joke in Don't Look Up? Like because her son, you saw it.
Yeah.
Because Jonah Hill is the president's son,
Yeah.
and he's the Secretary of State, and he's like going to introduce his mom, and she's like, "Isn't that a beautiful woman?
If she were my mom.
If she were my mom, am I
yeah.
right?" Like it's just so funny because it's like, like that's definitely. Oh, so have you not seen it?
No, I have.
Okay, yeah. So it's like I even love the fact that like, by the way, Meryl Streep, amazing in everything that she does. I just love that's like she's like Lady Trump, like, and that's the satire, that's the joke, But I agree with you because it's like I don't care, but you say you don't care. Now they're both upset, and it's just like whoever you're talking to, if you disagree with that, then it's like they're upset. And it's just like you said, like none of them care about me
you.
in
Not
my
a
house
single
right
one
now.
of them could give a two shits about you.
Right.
Okay, they'll tell you what you want to hear until you get their vote, and then they'll do whatever the fuck they want
Right.
once or not. I mean, Biden said he was going to cancel student loan debt, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
Still
what I was
waiting
gonna
on
say,
that.
He pushed it back to May, and that's going to fuck him over in the primaries. That's going to
Yeah.
be coming up here. But it's, and I think that's what people are finally starting to realize. I think that with the one thing, like I said, one of the good things about the Trump presidency is people really looked into how these wheels are turned and how things work.
Yeah.
Where people never questioned it before. They're like, oh, okay, that's just, politics. This is left and right. Like, oh, no, there is some insidious behavior here on both sides.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't believe for a second Hunter Biden's in the clear or
Yeah,
any of
no
that
way.
shit. I'm sure. Don't get me
I
wrong.
saw the way he caressed those kids.
You can
Like,
find
don't get me
videos
wrong.
of Biden in the 80s preaching segregation.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 80s. He's like,
What did he say when he was running? He goes, I think that the poor kid should have the same advantage as all the white kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
oh, you're kind of showing your colors.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's like you said. It's like it doesn't matter if what the new meta and the new like what everything was about like was republicanism, we'd be horrible, like even more horrible as we are as a country. If that was the end thing, you know what I mean? Like it's just like whatever works in their eyes. It's like
As a whole, we're a much more liberal society than.
Of
And you got to
course.
remember, for the majority of American history, we were very conservative.
Yeah.
Very button up, suits, ties. You don't talk about sex. You don't really talk about religion.
Yeah.
up to the 2000s.
Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the flower power movement in the 60s, which people don't realize how big of a change that made. I mean, people stopped wearing suits and ties. It changed more to more relaxed fitting clothes, more form. Fashion was a thing.
living
Now-
in the mountains of California.
That's true.
Killing celebrities.
So here's the problem. That's very true. We were so hard right for so long because, like I said, America's a country of extremes.
Yeah.
That's how we learn. We go extreme left, we go extreme right, and then eventually we kind of find our way in the middle. And I think.
When did the parties switch?
What do you mean as far as
Like Democrats used to be Republicans and Republicans used to be Democrats. When did that happen?
around the 60s and 70s,
yeah.
where things started? Republicans were the party of Lincoln.
Which I was like, why did that happen?
I don't know.
Why
It's
did they
ideals change, time change.
Yeah.
Things happen. Vietnam. People, like I said, that was one of the first wars. People were starting to wait, this isn't.
You sound like a big history guy.
I love history.
Yeah,
I'm a huge history
I'm
guy.
excited listening to her now because I'm feel so like with her like she's married to a 65-year-old man. Like I just like literally it's like it always reminds you of like that Patton Oswalt joke where it's just like one day you're just living the dream, having a beer bong, smoking a joint, then all of a sudden you're 55 and you're at the family gathering. You're like, hey, that Rommel guy in World War II actually like holy shit, my AARP like
It's true.
Yeah,
It's very true, but it's like it wasn't until like Vietnam where people actually were started questioning what are we doing? Why are we doing this? And all the shit with Nixon. Then Nixon got busted for tapping phones, and we're like, oh shit, these people are just as bad as the rest of us.
Yeah.
And then
wait a minute. Yeah.
we got cool. Then all of a sudden we get cool fucking Bill Clinton in the 90s doing saxophones and getting our surplus up. But
So I was telling her, what was his campaign song? Rumors by fucking Fleetwood Mac.
that was his campaign.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
what was it? The song about and by people cheating on each other.
Oh, if Hillary was so for women, she'd have divorced that corpse a long time
Oh my
ago.
god! You know what I think it was too, going back to like Vietnam and stuff. I think my grandpa really, because he's a big left guy now, and he was after Nam too. He goes, it's because I experienced it. I experienced when my dad was in World War II. I mean, that was the best the economy has been in God knows how long. That's why people had so many babies and were buying houses, and life was so good. And because you were a war hero, you were taken care of for life. I went to Vietnam. I came back. I couldn't get a job.
People would spit on you.
Yeah, no one wanted me around. It's just like this isn't what I was raised to think, and so it's just like that's pretty fucked up that my government allowed this to happen to me.
Those world wars were big. The World War I was, in my opinion, more important than the second one. I mean, the second one was just bigger because of all the fucked up stuff that happened. But it was just
Right.
prior to that, it was honorable
Right.
to go to war and stuff until famous politicians and leaders, their kids would go in war and died during that war. And then they realized after that, they're like, yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're not, and that's why you never see a politician's kid go.
Yeah.
I think it's also that we're all growing up too. Like I'm sure that our parents and stuff were having anxiety cigarettes over some of the policies that they heard on TV. But as a kid, I was just like, Bush is so funny. Like
we knew it didn't affect us in the
Right.
moment, but
But now that we can see what the president is fucking tweeting,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like it makes
that's
you
the
sweat.
big thing too.
Makes you sweat.
I don't care about the president if I'm being completely honest with you. Presidents don't, in my opinion, don't really change much.
Yeah.
It's
a figurehead.
It's a figurehead, but I think it's those congressmen that have been in there for
Yeah.
70 years. Some shit
who
like
need
that.
to just go.
Yeah,
Ridiculous.
these are the people who've been pushing policy through
Yeah.
that's really changing everything. President comes in for 8 years. It's
Yeah.
cool. He's gone. And then, like I said, can you guys ever think of a president that you've lived under that you're like, man, my life really changed under
Right.
this particular person? You're like, no.
I thought Obama was cool because he smoked cigarettes.
Yeah. He said he smoked a little weed back in college, did a little
Yeah.
blow. He was, he was,
Yeah.
he was an everyman.
From
All right?
Chicago, that's
Yeah.
badass, you know?
But I got to be honest with you. I think he's kind of like any other politician. I don't think in the long run, what do they have to gain from caring?
Yeah.
Bernie
I will
Sanders
say
was the
his-
last one that I figured maybe might care it a little bit. But
Or what's his name? What was the Asian dude that was running for president? I really liked him too.
Oh, Andrew
Yang?
yeah,
Yeah, I
Yang
like
seemed
that
like a
too.
legitimate guy too.
Young guy,
Yeah.
just like Obama was, young dude. And I think that
I was really for that $1,000 each month.
I think
plan.
Michelle knocked it out of the park as first lady personally because when they were in the White House, because she did all the play for 60 Minutes, she was really in the schools and stuff like that. And I think Obama had a really good publicist because I, as a kid, was even just that's a fucking cool ass black dude. I'm just saying, he's a cool. Every time he talks,
I think Michelle should
love his-
run.
yeah.
I would vote for Michelle.
I
I
think
used
The
to-
Rock should run.
I know, dude. I think Adam Sandler should run, dude. I think we should just go full idiocracy.
I voted for
Oh my
Kanye.
God.
So
yeah,
that's just,
yeah, for Kanye.
I can't
like to
believe
shake
it.
things up a bit, baby.
Yeah.
That guy was so cool to me that even when I would do serious conversations, whether it was at school or something like that, I had to present. I would even do Obama's point. I would do this. This is that's how much I so he was cool to me But yeah, I agree. Like I was just like, he's just some dude. But again, he, in my mind, I think I could say that yes, he was influential to me because when I was a kid, I was telling her the other day, there was no other fantasy in my mind other than I am gonna go die in some godforsaken country for my country. Like I want to be in the military. Like that was my whole thing. So even up to like I think it was like the 9th or 10th grade when he was in because he got elected in 08. But halfway through I believe it was his first years when he caught Osama or like SEAL Team 6, they were like, we got him. And
It was right before re-election.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck yeah. But now I'm just like, oh shit, it was right before re-election.
Yeah.
It's like, dun dun. Like, but again, so I think, yeah, him. And then I liked Bush only because I thought he was fucking hilarious.
But I think we're running into a big problem here because the disillusion of what America might be in the future is slowly fading away. People aren't being able to afford houses.
Yeah.
Groceries have gotten more and more expensive. And people's wages have not gone up at all.
It's a bubble, man.
Yeah.
It's getting very close to popping.
Yeah, and I don't know. We already did a lot in 2008, which we haven't reversed when that bubble hit, making it. We can't go lower than 0%, you know,
right,
on these houses and stuff like that. So I feel like there's going to be a big change in the shift in America within the next 10 to 15 years. I believe once the next generation, once they come up and they're, like, you know, I mean, I don't know. Besides those kids who made, you know, 10 million off buying Dogecoin or some shit like that, not me, or like buying and selling NFTs, or hoping you get that holographic Charizard and you can sell it online for $500,000.
Which, by the way, so I'm glad you brought this. Anything that has to do with anything being a man-child, I'm glad you brought up.
Yeah, good.
Did you know that you can now invest in expensive like Pokemon booster boxes, like a stock? So you can get a first edition, so like 1994 or something like that, booster set of the Pokemon cards in the box, just like how they all come, for I think it was anywhere from depending on the condition, either anywhere from like $14,000 to $20,000. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't have that kind of money. So what they came up with was that these boxes are like art. They're not going to be opened. You're wasting money by opening it. Mm-hmm. Unless you literally pull the foil Charizard, which wasn't a guarantee, you're going to lose money on this box. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that you have the box is what makes it so expensive. So what you and I can do is you and I can put in $500 each now that it's sitting at $12,000, and maybe it can go up to $30,000 in 2 years. And
sell that chunk off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can, and now they're starting to do that on collectible assets. Pez figures, baseball cards.
You could actually do that with old school cars now, too. Old, you know, 60s souped up charge, like all out, because obviously most people can't afford it.
This is what happens when you let poor people into the banking system.
I know. This is so bad. Like,
ever since the GameStop thing, fucking old white dudes in Wall Street are just like, what the fuck is happening?
that was funny too. With the Robin Hood and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, look what we have the ability to do if we just collectively do it.
I find it so funny how pissed off they got at us because we were manipulating them. Because I was like, oh, so you're just mad because we got in on your game. Is that it?
Yeah, 100%. They're like, we want the Americans to experience this capitalistic society. Go out there and make your nut, and then you make multiple nuts, and they're like, wait, whoa, hold on.
Hang on.
No, we don't mean like how we do it. Like you figure it out on your own.
We're talking like a couple $100 here and there.
Yeah.
No, like my buddy was one of those guys. He got his right place, right time, and he owned, I believe, at most 20 full Bitcoins, and he bought them back in 2000 whatever when they were $5 something.
No shit.
Yeah, and he said that his biggest regret was that in like a couple months or so after, he didn't understand about long holdings and stuff like that. He spent 3 of them, I think like 3 or 4 of them on a Bluetooth shower speaker. And he's just like, one of my biggest regrets was spending almost, $300,000 on a shower speaker. But
wait. You spent 300 G's on a shower?
No, well, like think about it. Back in the day, it was probably like $20. But he spent it with $20 worth of Bitcoin back in the day.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Now they're coasting at like on average $50,000 at any given week.
I saw a funny old old picture. It was a StarCraft tournament in like 2010.
Oh yeah.
First place was $500. Second place was $250. Third place was like $100. Fourth place was 25 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Back into nothing. And boy, did they fuck that up.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the Bitcoin thing's kind of like I see the value in cryptocurrencies and NFTs, but I just think it's very odd that people are spending so much money buying a digital baboon,
right?
Or investing their life savings.
Well, it's art. It's because people have faith in it.
Yeah.
It's whatever the market determines this is worth. It's monopoly money. If one day we wake up and say this monopoly $100 bill is worth actually $1,000 US,
It's just like real art. Like you see in an art gallery, it's like how is this $10 million for
Yeah.
this?
If I don't know who Rembrandt is, I'll say I don't know. I'll give you $50 for that. It'll look nice in my
Right.
bathroom. Like, but this is one of his original paintings. It's literally priceless. But I don't know who that is, nor do I care.
Nope.
So it's like
I said, this is all. I feel like everything's culminating to this big bubble pop.
right.
And I don't know what's going to happen. The way people reacted to this last election, I don't have really high hopes on how they're going to react to another economic crash.
Right.
Yeah.
When people were buying toilet paper left and right, and for whatever reason, and people they're panicky people.
Yeah.
So the second something happens, you're not going to be able to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
People are going to flood that, clear it out quick. Costco is going to be a fucking knife fight for people. I worry without a major change in something that it's not going to be the best outcome within the next generation.
No, dude, we're so close to. I mean, we're like you said, we're giving money that I worked for digital art. I mean, what is so weird to that compared to when I would say, hey, I like this bottle of wine. I'll give you 2 chickens for that bottle of wine. We might as well just go back to trading as if we were old in a fucking old time farm.
It's going to be a barter system. Hope you got some gold and silver.
Seriously, dude. Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude. Like it's just like that's
Yeah,
what
have you
it
seen
feels
that girl that like she started off with like a bobby pin and then like kept trading it until she got like a little mini house.
Man, honestly, that's the
Like-
fucking way to go. I've
Yeah.
always loved the free trade system. I love those stories. I heard about one in Guinness when they like the world records or whatever. Ripley's Believe It or Not. Yeah, the guy sold like a pen and got to like a house.
Yeah.
It's just like
How long did that take?
a while. Yeah,
A
it's
while.
it's not
I
like
feel like that's a few years.
Because you have to keep trading for like better things, and it's just like
Right.
It's hard to constantly be upgrading
Yeah.
all the time for
Right.
it.
because
But
it's like you have to find that person that's gonna do.
I would
it,
definitely
you
say
know?
one of the main selling points is saying this is what I'm trying to do. So maybe if someone wants to be like, okay, you give me your alarm clock, sure, I'll give you that old TV in my room that I never use anymore. But obviously the TV's worth more than the alarm clock. So I think a lot of that stuff was bartering on just like junk that you don't need for your house anymore. But like I love that shit. It's also why I love gambling. I love that people are earning their fucking money the way they're supposed to. I just hate the fucking tax man. And so it's just like we might as well just go back like you and I. Look, you're a really funny guy, and I'm going to be hosting a party. I want you to come do my party, okay? I don't have money, but what I can give you is I can give you an eighth in weed. You know what I mean? Like that's your payment. You know what I
that's
mean?
America. Goods and services
Literally,
have been traded.
literally, and then you're just like, well, I don't smoke weed, but my buddy Devin does. Hey, Devin, I've got this eighth. Give me, I don't know, babe. I'm a white. How much does an eighth go for?
It's pretty cheap nowadays.
Yeah, pretty cheap now.
Okay,
It's a dispensary. You get it for what?
throw it out.
30 to
Like
40
30,
bucks.
yeah, 30 to
Okay,
$50.
so hey,
yeah.
give me $30. I'll give you this eighth. You know, cool. Now I have something that I want. Or hey, Devin, I like those headphones. You know what I mean?
That's
I'll
true.
trade you this weed for those headphones. Like I love that shit.
Well, the inherent issue for me too is like the reason I have such low expectations for, or not, I don't expect anything good to happen, is I feel like in our sense of freedom in America, we've become very narcissistic and vain people.
Oh, I know more than you, always and forever. I have Twitter.
It's
so,
not only that; it's me first, then you.
yeah.
And I understand that in a sense, but if something bad happens, there's not going to be any sense of community. It's going to be fucking
Chaos.
It's going to be Mad Max. People with their guns are going to be rolling the streets, and it's like I said, some people kind of want that. Some people, that's why they stock
Yeah,
up
there's
guns.
so
fucking
crazy to
weirdos in
me.
high
I'm
school. There's
like,
like,
why?
dude,
They have bomb
don't.
shelters. They have
I
food
can't
stocked up.
fucking wait for a zombie apocalypse, bro.
No, like you and probably your friends and family are gonna die. Don't like. Why do you want? Because they watch. It's fucking TV and they watch The Walking
Well, because they
Dead.
got all horny for like Rick Grimes, and they're like, I see a lot of myself in Negan, and as soon as they even go to a fucking whatever, oh, that guy's weird, or it's just like that. One of my favorite pictures is like where you think you're gonna be in the zombie apocalypse. It's like the poor people like on top of the bus. It's like where you really are, and it's like a zombie like way in the fucking back. It's like,
And we've hit this point of where like freedom, people have taken their own self responsibility out of it because they're like, fuck it, I could do what I want when I want, regardless of what.
which again, people are waiting for.
Yeah.
They're just, we're waiting for the presidential announcement that we are in martial law, and I'm gonna go commit so many atrocities.
And especially in Americans, we have this like weird romanticized version of like the Wild West.
Yeah.
And like the gunslingers and the good guy shooter bullshit John Wayne.
Yeah,
movies
Mad
and
Max
stuff.
shit.
Yeah. So but they always they'd like to forget about the bad shit that it was. I mean, that's why a lot of people like the whole "Make America Great" thing. I think they kept picturing like the 40s and 50s, the nuclear family, guy goes to work and he can afford to pay for a wife to stay at home.
Colored only schools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They like to slightly. They're like, I'm not racist, but I'd love to go back to the 40s or 50s.
I just hate
So
when
was
colored
like,
people bother me and my
I know.
family.
Yeah.
It's just
you remember that old Louis C.K. joke? He's like time machines are white privilege.
Yeah.
Like that's like
yeah.
black people can't fuck with time machines. Like anything before 1980, no thank you. I don't.
Right.
And that's the great thing. But it's like I don't. They idealize things that first of all they never lived in.
Yeah.
They've never experienced, and based off movies and television, they idealize these kind of people in these times with no regard to what the actual trials and tribulations were of that time. They just see like what your grandparents had. They're like, yeah, we were fucking like crazy. We could buy a house, and I could work at you could just work at a factory, and you can have a pension for the rest of your life, and you can afford what goes for a $500,000 house.
My wife
now.
never leaves the bed. We just keep making new babies. Like it's just nonstop. Yeah, for sure.
Wives didn't work, and it was more traditional, and I don't understand why they want to go back to that. It's not.
I've never seen.
See, it's really interesting that you say that. I'm actually glad you said that because we've had to talk about this because
like
I
the
have no
fashion
idea.
was cute, I guess, but
I
everything
like a good
else-
suit. I think I look good in a suit, but you think I want to wear a suit everywhere I fucking go?
No.
Right,
Especially Arizona
yeah.
in the goddamn summertime. If I just want to go to Circle K or something.
That is my one masculine urge that I don't know why I cling on to it so hard, but I would love to live in a world where like Allie doesn't have to work. I don't know why. That's just how my dad always instilled in me. It's just like your job is to just essentially, in all intents and purposes, be miserable, work 85 hours, have kids who don't give a shit about you, have a wife that cooks and cleans for you, and then you die.
Because that's how they were raised.
Right. Well, and it's funny, kind of going back to like how you said like they fantasize about something they never even lived in, and that was one of the things I was like, my dad, I was like, oh, do you want to go? I asked, I was like, as a joke, kind of, I was like, oh, do you want to go back to how it was when you were a kid? And he was like, no, my dad beat the shit out of me all the time. It was fucking horrible. My mom was never home. No, like there is nothing I want to go back there to. Like
Exactly.
So it's like, what are you talking about when you say like back in the good old days? Like people had the same fucking problems.
Yeah.
You see now that they say 50% of marriages end in divorce. Well, I think that's the extreme that we're hitting because back in the day, people would stay in hellish, loveless relationships for 50 years.
Well, because the Bible says you shouldn't get
women couldn't
divorced.
have a bank account by themselves till like 1975. So it's like,
Not only that, if you got divorced,
Damn, am I misogynist? Because I'm trying to take that away from you
is it
too.
really 1975 they could have into a big
yeah.
so recently.
I'm all over here like we should just have a joint bank account. I just won't let Allie be. And then she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go vote." I'm like, "The fuck you are? Get in there and get that roast in the oven."
It doesn't work like that anymore. I mean, and you see some people kind of trying to push back to those more traditional values, which, look, and this sounds shitty, but I'm going to say this, and this is going to go for a lot of different aspects of people, whether it be people on the left and right. Black people aren't going back to Africa.
Right.
White people aren't going back to Europe. Unfortunately, Native Americans aren't going to retake America, and it's going to be this. It's just like it's these things that people try and hold on to, these old ideals, and as shitty as it was, and what happened to you, it's like you're doing the wrong thing. I feel like by keep trying to push back to go back to what it was like 150, 200 years ago.
Well, it was never good.
It was never good, but it's not going to happen.
Right.
Like we just need to learn from it and move on.
We need to show the people that are here, treat them with dignity and respect.
Yeah.
And then move on. And how do we make it better from here on out?
Exactly.
Not just like, they need to go back to Africa or go back to Mexico or, you see people on the left saying, well, you guys need to go back to Europe. I was like, nobody's going anywhere. I can't even afford to move out of state.
Like, believe me, if I could, I would.
I would love to go live in Germany or something. You want to throw me some cash by all
Yes,
means?
you do, motherfucker.
Yeah, dude.
You had that one loaded up, didn't you?
I know, dude. I love. See, but that's the thing, though. Is like, it's also like, yes, I do want people to just have common courtesy for each other, but also at the same time, I don't know if I can ever get rid of people like that, dude.
You're never going to.
And I love it.
You're never going to get rid of shitty people. Unfortunately, as long as people exist, there's always going to be somebody who's raised by a poor mother, poor father, and they're going to teach them bad things, and then they're just going to carry it on. The cycle always continues. You can do it.
You like to think that slowly but surely those people are dying, but unfortunately those people are having children.
They'll never 100% die, but the more you make things like that socially unacceptable, you'll see less and less of them, or they'll just fucking hide it.
Right. I think, and we are, damn, we're doing a good, we haven't braked one time. I'm having a great time right now, man. Yeah, we might have to extend this a little bit more because one thing I was going to say that also drives me crazy too is that the slightest notion, I'm not even going to say of leftist ideals, of just being a decent person. I love seeing these people that are just like, oh, here we go. Like whenever, like the joke I made because they put new episodes of Queer Eye on Netflix.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great show. I love it. I love
I never
them.
watched it, to be honest with you.
It's just
Too gay for me.
it's a feel good show, but there was they're trying.
It almost makes me cry every time.
They're trying to help out this school in Austin, and it's they want to throw them a prom, and I guess one of the guys, because there's always a guy that helps with the clothing, grooming, cooking. So if it's a dude, one of the guys will teach him hey, I'm gonna show you how to make some dude meal that's actually has a little bit of health to it and stuff like that. So he's in the cafeteria or whatever, and they want to make this food, but the guy was oh, we want to have vegan options for our, to be courteous of everyone. And as a joke, me and Allie are just nah, fuck them. But it's just there's people who watch that episode and they're oh, gotta include everyone. It's just that's your soapbox?
Yeah.
Transgender bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you so freaked out, bro?
Look, and it's okay to have bad thoughts. It's okay to have fucked up. Okay, so tell me. Okay, I want your guys' opinion. Tell me if this makes me a bad person, because I saw something the other day and it really upset me. I was watching one of those TLC shows and it was about kids with Down syndrome.
Sure. And
it was actually really sweet. They were following a guy and a girl. They were probably middle school age, and the guy was going to ask another girl who had Down syndrome out to the dance. They would do it. He did this whole big thing, made a sign. It was really sweet. The kid did it. The girl comes in and he asks hey, do you want to go to the dance with me? And she's like, no, because I don't want to date somebody with Down syndrome. And out loud, I go, fuck you. I said that out loud. I was like, I can say that, but you can't. Are you allowed to say that?
She had Down syndrome?
Yeah, she had. This was a girl with Down syndrome saying that to a kid, and I was like, first off, fuck you, TLC, for putting that on there.
Because I'm a stud.
She was just straight up, it
was so fun. I was like, that would be heartbroken for anybody to be rejected on television like that.
I'd be so embarrassed.
Yeah, but it was like, how dare you say that to him?
Yeah, I don't know. I probably would have just been let's talk about it.
Are people who don't have Down syndrome allowed to date people with Down syndrome?
I think so.
I think as long as it's consensual.
Yeah.
I mean, they could still give consent. I mean, they have mental disabilities, but for example, my brother Ethan can't give consent because he doesn't even talk. He's 16.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's there's a huge difference. But a lot of them, go on to have full on careers.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
just
true.
I would say out of most, of the mentally able, I would say Down syndrome people are more susceptible to actually still live their lives.
And it makes me feel like I'm so fucking lazy when they're like, yeah, Adam has Down syndrome. He has 4 businesses that he runs. I was like, God, I'm not doing shit with my life.
It's just, and they're even the fucking, people always make fun of these, people with Down syndrome or autism or, Asperger's, and it's just look at that guy on the fucking 40-yard dash of the Special Olympics. I'm like, you go fucking race him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just it's the same people. I'm just why are you going to call me a retard? And then also, you definitely can't do what I do, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not that funny.
Well, like I said, people do that to kind of make themselves feel better.
I guess.
It's easier to not follow your own problems when you're sitting there too busy talking shit about everybody else's.
There are some goddamn haters out there. I'll just never get over that. Just people who live to just be so fucking angry for no reason.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Well, they're just generally
there are some things that make me angry for sure. I can't ever say that I don't get angry about things, but I don't know.
Like I said, well, a lot of people are at at a 6 or a 7 most days. They're pissed off. When you get into traffic or something and something happens, even if it's your fault, you slightly almost move in and a guy has to swerve a little. Nothing happened, but it happens, and then they fucking flip out.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's that guy wasn't having an amazing day, and then this little thing. Because if you're having a good day and something like that happens, you're oh shit, but what an asshole, and then you just move on with your day.
Yeah.
But guys who literally want to pull out a fucking gun and shoot you in a road rage incident.
Well, that's why I tell her at work all the time, and it's the kind of calls that she gets are just so astronomically ridiculous. These people are just so mean.
Really, what's the worst one you got? Can you? Are you allowed to talk about it?
Well, so here's the thing: is that we can't disclose where we work, but we can say that it is a call center. But
what was the meanest thing somebody has said to you?
Oh, I have one of those on lockdown.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta have. I feel like you might have one or two where somebody was just.
The meanest thing that I don't know, like I haven't really been like insulted yet, but like anybody who like questions my job and like tells me that I can do things that I cannot do, I'm just like, fuck off. Mm-hmm. Like, are you serious right now? Like, why would I lie to you about what I can do? You know, like.
Yeah, or they're like some people who treat you like you're the reason why they can't do this. Like,
yeah.
I'm just the messenger following my rules here.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't own this company. I'm not personally trying to fuck your day up and stuff. I'm just doing the best I can.
And I quote, okay.
Oh, okay, this is good.
And I quote, I bet you like to watch your wife get fucked by a big black N-word while you sit and watch in the corner, huh, little pussy bitch? You want to know why he said that to me?
Wait.
Because his fucking credit card declined. That was probably the...
You should be like, I don't listen to broke bitches. Sorry.
Hang up the fucking phone.
Yes.
Hang up the phone.
Yeah.
Broke ass can't even afford to be on this phone call right now.
At least my credit card works,
I mean,
motherfucker.
and when I say mean, I didn't like get off the phone. I was like, I was just like, whatever. I could. You're in a phone call. Do we gonna fight me? Like, I just yeah. But especially because in our line of work, I'm just like, dude, what we ask for is so menial. Like just listen to me.
That's somebody who's mad at life and they're taking it.
That's
out
why I
on
tell
you.
her. I say, hey, look, no matter what they say or do, that is not your fault, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You just
it's not your fault that their credit card.
It's hard for me not to laugh most times that people get upset with me on the phone because I'm just like, like, are you really yelling at me over the phone right now? Like,
you're not.
I have more
here.
information about you than you do on me right now. So like, I know where you live. I know your phone number.
You're lucky I'm not insane.
I'm gonna send a bag of shit to 6492.
Allie's like, get the stamps.
Yeah.
We're mailing some feces to this asshole.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just people like that exist like that.
Oh, baby boomers are the worst.
So crazy. So crazy.
I love how much they talk about our entitled generation, but it's an entire generation. And I have people I love who's baby boomers, but they've been so coddled their whole lives, and then they look down on us when we can't do certain things, and it's because they're like, well, we had to do this, we had to do that. You're like, yeah, and it was fucking terrible. Their lives overall were easier. They were able to get jobs easier. They were able to
afford more things,
afford homes, families, everything was a lot easier. But they see us with cell phones and computers and talk about us like,
oh, these damn kids.
Yeah. Like, you would be doing the exact same fucking thing we would be doing if you were our age.
Well, it's also people. It's only people that are over the age of 40 that will tell me that maybe you would have more money if you didn't spend it on insert thing that Jacob loves to spend, or like that keeps him happy.
Yeah,
it's just like a savings account, almost non-existent as a new age middle 20-year-old
and they don't
man.
believe that.
No, they don't, and they refuse to believe that.
No, and they had hobbies. They spent money on things. They're like, okay, so you just, when you got home, you sat in a quiet room and did nothing all day. You had no interest. You didn't do anything. And if you did, I don't want to be you.
Right.
And they're like, and that's the biggest thing that's insulting is that when they show us how bad our economy is and how less and less we can afford for the amount of money we make, they turn it to us like, oh, you had to go buy that avocado toast, didn't you? Or some shit, huh? You had to go to Starbucks and get that frappe latte, huh? It's like, yeah, that's what's really draining my bank account.
And I told you, I play Magic, I play
not
Warhammer.
My $150 fucking phone bill, like.
Yeah.
or an apartment that would have been $400 cheaper 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like, you're paying twice as much, or homes, like you said, you bought a house for what? Some comedian had a joke. He's like, I bought a home for 11 raspberries in 1982. And then they sit there and look down on us like, oh, you can't afford a home? Huh? Yeah, I don't have $500,000 for a 2-bedroom house.
When that's what theirs is worth now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I mean, my mom never throws it in my face. I mean, it comes from a place of love, but it's like, yeah, sometimes I think that she forgets that, like, they bought that house for $150,000, and it's just like, yeah, now you're selling it for almost $500,000. Mm-hmm. It's not the same, homie. Like, it's really not.
But the problem is this: they have this resentment for us because life is easier than it was for them. But I was like, when you talk to them, they all like, well, I just wanted an easier life than my kids. Every generation wants to have it better. I was like, well, then don't fucking resent us when we do, and don't pretend like we're going to be the same people you are. Because we didn't have these trials and tribulations, it's just not the case,
right.
And I just get upset when they look down on us. My mom's good about it because she realized because she was actually looking to buy a house, and she looked and she's like, I didn't realize how expensive everything is now. It's like because her house she bought in 98 for $80,000, which is going for almost $400,000. And these are starter family homes. These aren't big.
$2,500 in a song.
Yeah,
about how much she wants
a
the
little
house.
shanty, and all of a sudden you get a fucking home. And they've been living high off the hog, off cheap credit and, low interest rates and cheap homes. And now, they have the audacity to look down on our generation like we don't do anything. And they think the reason that we don't do it is because we're lazy and with all phones and shit like that.
I have to consistently remind some people in my family of that too. It's like, you guys, I left at 18. Like I lived with friends, but I had my own apartment when I was 20. I moved to a whole different state by myself. Mm-hmm. And now I'm in a serious relationship and we have our own little place together. But because I say passively, because you're my family and I want you to listen to me when I'm like, yeah, money's a little tight right now. Well, maybe if you didn't play that fucking model Warhammer game.
Yeah.
Whoa, I didn't ask for that. Like,
they want you to be miserable.
Yeah. I'm not on the streets begging for change. I don't have as much money as I want. And it's just, they're just like, I can't, maybe if you just put $120 aside every paycheck, you're like, bud, I can't.
Yeah. I would love to.
I'd love to. If I could not eat for 2 weeks, I would absolutely do that.
Yeah. It's like, and they, like I said, they expect you to be some fucking hermit that doesn't do anything. Like I said, they did all the shit that they wanted. They had hobbies. They're going, and now half of them are retiring, traveling the world living off their retiring money, and Social Security or whatever. That's something that's probably not going to happen for us when we get to that age.
No pensions. Sometimes I feel like we're probably either going to be too sick or not even alive to enjoy our 401ks.
No.
You know what I mean?
Plus, the government takes half of it the second you use it.
Right. So it's just like, we're probably just going to end up giving it to our family because we're in a fucking home somewhere because we can't even get off the couch. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's just how fucking life is now, bro. And it's just like scary. It's,
and less is being given down to us. Like, there's no homes. We're not inheriting a home. We're not. And I'm not inheriting anything. My I have family members who are inheriting my grandfather's house, and stuff like that, and homes that like I said are stupid expensive nowadays, but every generation it gets less and less.
Right.
I feel like. So and then occasionally you get the
we're gonna give our 2 kids our 16-year-old cats and our crippling credit card debt. Sorry guys. Bud. See ya.
You'll be getting a call from Amex here within the next few hours.
As soon as we flatline, once the time of death is called, you'll get a call from Amex. No, I was gonna say something and I totally fucking forgot.
How dare you?
I know. I fucking forgot.
Embarrassing.
I know, dude. It's just.
I hope I'm wrong.
No, I just had it and I fucking left it again.
God damn it!
Because you were talking about getting things from people and stuff like that, and it's just like you kind of just took the words out of my mouth. It's just like, I'm not expecting like some kind of like.
I'm getting no inheritance.
And the fact that I have to rely on some kind of miscellaneous fortune to like make
into your lap.
I hope that one of my fucking parents dies so they can give me money. Like I don't want to have that thought.
Yeah,
like that sucks, dude.
I mean, when I was 30, I was making more money than my mom made when she was 30. And she had me and was able to start, live on her own.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Was that when I was a kid. If I went back in time right now and I told myself when I was getting my first job at Harkins Theaters when I was like 17, and I said, hey, this is how much money you'll make in 10 years, I would have been over the moon. That's fucking awesome. What? Because, when I started working, minimum wage was like $10, $9, something like that. And it was just so like, yeah, that would have been sick. And I am making more than my mom. My mom likes to remind me that I make more than her for some weird reason. Like she always brings that up. And it's just like, I told her because she doesn't make as much as me, I'm going to take over rent for us, but I will, just do me a solid, take care of the internet, take care of the utilities. And if you can throw in a little bit more for groceries, that'd be sweet, Mm-hmm. But even that, I can do it, but I'm shocked at how frugal I still need to be in my day-to-day life because I'm just paying for rent, not including my car payment, my phone payment, my credit cards. You know what I mean?
These things add up.
And they do. And it's just like, I think the most discouraging thing I think collectively at this table is literally just people telling you like, why aren't you living your best life? It's like, I fucking can't.
So what we all need to do is kill every baby boomer you see.
Yes.
And we will inherit all of their property and take it. And we're back to square one.
All right, easy.
Or we just need another world war. Maybe that'll fucking.
Yeah, let's eat them.
Eat the rich.
They probably taste like shit.
Yeah, probably.
Or if they're fine dining.
I don't know, maybe so. I think, yeah, you know what I think? I think, either widowed or just like rich housewives, all they do is like kind of reminds me of Wagyu beef. It's like all they do is like drink wine and get like massages and stuff. So I bet they're super tender. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, if you take like a Rudolph Giuliani, yeah, he tastes like fucking.
Oh yeah, M&Ms and farts.
Yeah, just dollar store
you're
bologna.
Right. One of
and-
those rich housewives in Orange County, they just been sucking red wines. They're getting brazened real good, making sure everything's nice, getting their nails done.
And and again, it goes back to like that, like, you know, people have like that weird zombie fantasy. It's like, it could all be that easy. It really could just all of us be like, do you make under 80K a year? Let's go get them. Like, you know, like fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
here's my issue though. It's like they say the top 1% is what if you make over 50 to in the world, obviously, but I don't ever fault somebody for making a lot of money. No. I never do. And I don't think the woes of our economy and where we are have anything to do with some guy who makes $250,000 a year because he made a successful chiropractic or something like that. He's definitely not the problem with everything.
No, definitely.
So I never resent anybody.
Well, that's why I love capitalism, is because it has worked in people's favor.
It has. But it's the people who use their money and they buy and manipulate our systems to
the billionaires
to make more money and stuff like that. I found it funny. I don't know if you saw the stuff between Nancy Pelosi and Elon Musk and stuff where he's like, she was like, he's a freeloader, and I'm like, he paid $11 billion in taxes like last year, and Elon Musk made a point too. He's like, she doesn't pay taxes. Her whole thing is paid by the people. Our taxes pay for her salary and stuff, and it's just like there's this weird disconnect between what is actually happening and what people perceive as happening. Like you said, over the pandemic, the rich got richer. It was very weird while people were out of work and people were struggling to make ends meet, and then they threw us this measly couple grand and stuff in these stimulus.
Or that fucking video of all the celebrities like singing like a song called "It Gets Better."
Okay.
Like,
if there is a mass, I'm not pro genocide, but if we want to kill every actor, I'd be totally good with it. Nobody is more disconnected from reality than famous actors and
or
actresses.
fucking Ellen. She was like, oh, man, I totally get what it's like to be in your house all day. It's like being in a fucking jail cell.
No.
She's got 9 bedrooms. Of like,
this
so
fucking compound,
Yeah.
six entertainment rooms, a bowling alley,
Mark
a place where she hides
Zuckerberg.
lesbians.
Mark Zuckerberg had a $10 million home and then bought the surrounding multi-million-dollar homes to add to his fucking compound in Palo Alto.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me that.
These uneducated actors, because they think they're rich and successful in acting, feel like they have any idea of what it's like for the average everyday person. And look, don't get me wrong, some of them may have had humble beginnings. Yeah. And they may have started, I was a waiter for a few, but I was like, they are a long way from where they exactly, where they were. Like, I don't buy into Jay-Z's bullshit anymore. When he was taking pictures at the Louvre, he actually shut down that entire Louvre with him and Beyonce. Yeah. And I was like, you may have come from the streets, but you've spent more time not on the streets than you have
you have literally purchased the silver spoon.
Exactly.
And why wouldn't you? I mean, to be fair,
no, that's the whole point of having money.
Right.
You know, I have shitty aluminum spoons and I want something nice, but
our fucking dishwasher doesn't work, so we bought plastic spoons because we don't want to hand wash them.
I don't blame you. That's hand washing.
Dude. Like, so I mean, yeah, money definitely, but I mean, again, I think whichever schmuck said that money doesn't buy happiness, I'm just like, I'll proudly, if you want to give me the money, I'll show you wrong.
That's a rich person, right?
Yeah.
No poor people ever says that.
No.
And what was that line from The Boys too? The guy says, "It's like, you ever notice that people only say that when they grew up with money?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. It's just, and it's like me and Allie always had the conversation. We're not even asking for millions of dollars. If I can just have like $5,000, if we could have $1,000, if we could just have someone give us $1,000, and like we'd probably both cry. Like we'd like break down and fall to our knees and cry.
I'd be like, oh my god.
You know,
like I said,
that's good for a month.
And that's, they say the disconnect with people that, like I said, when you ask for something like that, it's like, well, how about you just budget better? How about you just, not have all those things? And it's like things that they, like, I understand like certain aspects, phone bills, they didn't have cell phone bills. A lot of these people growing up, I mean, car payments were nothing. I mean, you could buy a new car for $2,000 to $5,000 back in the day, whatever but this audacity to look down on us and be like, no, you're broke because it's your fault. And they want you to believe it's your fault so you don't look at them and be like, oh, no, it's because of these policies that you've enacted. You've shipped jobs overseas that, for cheap labor. I mean, it's a business transaction. I get that, but at least be fucking honest about it.
Well, but they don't want to. I mean, it always comes to one thing. If they'll ask you question after question, it's like, again, you can ask me all of like, well, do you have a full-time job? Yes. Do you live in your own home? Yes. Did you go to college? For a little bit, but I didn't finish. See, if you would have went to college, just like, you're going to always come up with something as to why it's my fault, man.
College college scares the shit out of me as far as just like how like if I wanted to go and get a $250,000 loan for a Ferrari, no bank in their right fucking mind would give it to me.
No, absolutely
being a
not.
17-year-old with no credit, no money, anything. But all of a sudden, I want to get a $100,000 loan to go to school. They're like, nah, we'll just throw it at you here.
Right.
And now there's not even a guarantee that you're going to have a decent job outside of school. And now people just are literally not paying their student loan debts now.
Yeah.
They're just like, because it's getting to the point to like, okay, I can make my student loan payment or I can pay my rent. I don't give a fuck about my student loan payment. I'm not going to get kicked out of my house. So
Right.
I don't know what people are expecting out of us in our and it frustrates me. I don't know if it frustrates you guys, but it just frustrates me how we're gonna have to do double the amount of work just to get to where their baseline was. Mm-hmm. There's no working your way up from a bottom up to a company without a college degree. You got to do that now. I mean, I have a friend's dad who recently passed away. I mean, he worked at Honeywell. He started from the bottom, just mailroom stuff, and he worked his way up into being an engineer.
Right.
And you can't do that.
You can't do that anymore.
Unless you have a degree in engineering, nobody's going to fucking touch you. Right. But this whole hard work thing it's not just hard work. There are people who work 4 or 5 jobs and are still struggling.
Our CEO who just retired started as a janitor at the company. And I was like, as soon as I heard that, I was like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's going to be my legacy. Like,
yeah.
No.
And they love to say that shit because then they're like, well, you just keep working hard. And I'm like, that's not
No,
true.
that's clown shit. That's why I always tell her, I say overtime's a fucking scam. Use your PTO.
Unless you're getting paid pretty good for the OT, which most places don't.
Even if I am, and I would say that I comfortably am, I fucking disagree. I just won't take it. I don't care how busy we are. If you are not paying me, or if I'm not supposed to be there, or if I don't have to be there, I'm out. Mm-hmm. And I've told because I supervise, some employees, and I've told them personally. I said, hey, I get sometimes this job sucks, dude. I get it. I wouldn't be here for free, would you? Like, I am the biggest, I'm just like, it's a fucking scam, bro.
But I feel like companies now expect so much more of their employees.
Oh, they do.
And they expect the employees to ask less of them.
Absolutely. Don't ask questions.
No, they're like, no, so they expect you to work overtime, they, do not get paid, or to just bust your ass for a false hope of getting somewhere.
Yeah, because they want you to be a team player.
I almost quit my last job before they fired me later. For fuck them anyway. But I had about 200 plus hours of PTO saved up because I didn't take time off.
Oh, wow, good for you.
And then you know what they fucking did?
Fired you?
No, they got rid of it and they went to unlimited PTO at the manager's discretion. So they sold it as like, oh, it's great, you have unlimited. Because now all you have to do is just put in the PTO, and if your manager approves of it, you can have as much time off as you want. But here's the thing: first of all, you're much less likely to take the PTO because it's not yours anymore. It's the company time. When you have 2 hours of PTO, you're like, this is my fucking time. Right. When you're like, well, I hope my manager just lets me take this
I hope I
off.
can go to my son's birthday party tomorrow.
And you know what's the biggest fuck you? They didn't pay out what you earned.
Yeah, that's
what upset me is like, so a person who just started working there a week ago gets the same amount of PTO time as I have after building up 7 years of barely taking time off. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, fuck you. But they keep trying to sell it to like, oh no, this is great. This is great for you. But no, people like take less time off, and now they don't have to buy out PTOs when people get fired or quit, because that's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is. And then just exactly like you said, companies will just stop giving it to you.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Anytime a company tells you we're a family, fucking run.
Yeah, that's it, dude.
It's the biggest horseshit lie, because that family will throw you out the fucking bus the second that.
And I have friends who I really like working with at my job, and I tell them, I said, dude, you've been brainwashed, because there was a situation where I almost quit because there was an assumption, and I cleared it up, but it was like there was a legit assumption that some person was going to get a job before me because they were taking more VTO, or not VTO, their overtime than me. They were, staying here longer and later. I'm just like, if that's what it takes, then I'm done. Because I don't have to be here for that shit. You should look at the time that we're both supposed to be here, not the extra work that this guy did, because he's a fucking chump, and I just won't do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, yeah, anyone who tells you like, oh, like we're a family, and I mean, I've heard people in like jobs and stuff like that. They're like, as soon as the pandemic's done, like we're gonna all. I'm like, I don't want to hang out with you fucking guys. Like, I don't fucking know you. Like,
companies are like politicians; they do not have your best interest at heart.
No. We're replaceable, 100%. As soon as I say no, my job has no problem.
They're like the Jews; they just want your money. All right, they want your time. They want your soul.
And I don't hold it against them. I want to make that very clear in case any specific person is listening. I do not hold my job to the fact that like, oh, fuck them because they want more out of me. That's completely fine. I'm just prepared with the reality that if I just one day say I'm not doing that, they have no problem saying, all right, pick you out of my chair. And then here you go. This is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. It's like they say family, but let's say, for instance, you die.
Right.
They'll put a job listing up within the week.
Yeah.
So
you're not coming in?
Yeah.
Is what you're
Right,
saying?
yeah.
I feel even worse for restaurant workers.
Yeah.
It's gotten really bad because I have a few friends who are waiters and waitresses, and now that things are finally starting to pick up and things are opening, managers are expecting a shit ton out of these, like, because they're always short staffed. Everybody's trying to hire, so now they're expecting people to come in on their days off after they've been working long weeks, and then when they say no, it's my day off. They're like, well, are you doing anything? It's like it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I'm busy or if I'm just gonna sit in my fucking underwear.
Like, I deserve time off.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And then-
Sorry you're stressed,
and
man.
then they'll be
but-
like, okay, well, I'll remember that. I'm like, well, write it down, Kevin. I can really care less what you remember, because at the end of the day, you're not going to fire me because you'll be even more short-staffed.
yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Fire me? Like,
And it's just, like I said, everything's just become more like, everything is expected out of you to put in that extra effort, and the company's expected to do nothing but pay you what they have to just so you don't complain.
right.
So, like,
Especially with those jobs that rely on tips. I mean, there's definitely, it's not even conspiracy theories anymore. There's a lot of those people will show up for 6 hours of time they didn't need to be there and won't get paid much. Or they'll just say, hey, we don't want to log you into a till, so like if you could just like bounce off of other people's checks and then you can split the tips with them. So I'm getting paid less than what I normally would get, and I'm coming in on my day off, and somehow I allowed you to brainwash me into doing that.
my friend told me once when he was working, they asked him to clock out but continue to work for another hour.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can't afford the pay.
Restaurants
like,
love
and
doing
they
that.
try to guilt trip you into it. Like, we're so short staffed. And I was like, well, that ain't my fucking problem. I'm
Right.
going home.
Like,
Oh, my old boss, when I worked at a pizza place, my old boss would had to pull me aside all the time and say, hey, man, I've told you multiple times that you need to clock out because your shift's supposed to be done. I said, but I'm still here for another 2 hours. And they said, yeah, but you're supposed to clock out. I said, can you? Oh, I said his name. I said, I'm not gonna clock out. I'm not. I said, you can keep having this conversation with me, but I'm not.
Peter Smith at.
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
Fuck it, let's just call them all out, okay?
I was like, you're not, and it's just like I have enough, and that's what I told her. I said we can't afford to do a lot of things that make us happy. I wish I could put more time into this. I wish I could do 2 episodes a week. You know what I mean? I wish, but it's like I can't. I literally have to have a job that, though I like it, I don't love it. I wouldn't do it for free.
And that's the unfortunate catch-22. It's like I started doing the same thing with comedy, and I started doing Twitch streaming and stuff too. And it's just like, in order to be proficient at this, it's like it has to be a consistent thing you have to do multiple times a week. But when you're struggling, when you're already working,
40 hours plus.
40 hours plus just to get by, and it's like you're already kind of burnt out.
Right.
It's hard enough to get yourself to come one day.
Yeah.
Sometimes
At least somewhat back in the day, some girl from Nowheresville, Arkansas could get off the bus in LA with $200 in her pocket in 1965 and have herself a roommate in downtown Los Angeles, work 10 hours at a diner and still try to pursue an acting career.
I wish there was a Harvey Weinstein in my field. I'll suck a dick right now. Dude, honestly,
Yeah,
do not
I would-
care. I have zero self-respect at this point in my life.
Yeah,
okay?
100%.
I was like,
we've already talked about this.
You want to wax me up and use me as a surfboard? By all means, fucking.
Allie
go
has
for it.
all of the self-respect in the world. I've told her, I was like, dude, can we just find like a nice, handsome old man? And I'm just like, you can. I'll be here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, can you go with him to Tahiti for a little bit and get us some money?
My girlfriend, who I've been seeing for a bit, she's a streamer too, and we talk about these hot tub streams that they do. Like, it's just not video games or anything, but they get outrageous views. And I was like, I'll record that for you. I was like, as long as you take me out to dinner one night with that money, by all means. We could sex it up all you want and be like, show some more cleavage. Come on, that's what they want.
Give them what they want.
Give them the show.
Yeah, and see, now look at us. Now we're the generation that weed's legal and it's okay to be a sex worker now, because that's what you got to do to make it by in this.
Is worse than ever.
The economy. This is like a weird dystopian future, dude. Like I said, it is fucking Total Recall.
It's
like
just, you could just get high and get laid, and not have to worry about anything anymore. But
dude.
if they keep your your balls emptied and your brain scrambled, they'll just keep it going.
it's America, keeping the balls empty and brains scrambled since 2019.
We're gonna make that a shirt.
Yeah, I like that. So you're streaming now.
Yeah, I started doing some Twitch streaming. And
You wanna give some plugs real quick? Can we see anywhere anytime soon?
nothing on the books for comedy. I'll have some stuff maybe in the future I'll be posting, but nothing set in stone right now. Okay. Doing the chip on my shoulder review stuff is just
Love the name.
Yeah, so I had to, I'm trying to basically build that up and figure out, better up the production quality and shit like that. And like I said, doing some Twitch streaming, Capitan Kirsch on Twitch. I mostly do like Apex and Halo, the new Halo game that came out and stuff. I'll be slowly doing more, but it's like just finding the time to do all that.
Do you have like a schedule yet?
Not a schedule. I try and do it at least with the chip review show. Like I said, I do it once a week now, but I'm bumping it up to twice a week.
What about Twitch?
Twitch, I probably try and do 2 to 3 times a week.
How long?
About 4 hours a pop.
That's a good one. Yeah, I tried doing it, but I was only doing like 2 hours. I was like, this ain't. You
know,
got to put.
That's what's hard about it. It's like you.
Because I get sleepy.
Yeah.
I just get tired.
Well, yeah, you're just like, I don't feel like playing anymore.
Right. I'm
And
just
it's
tired. Yeah.
and
All just for my
We should
3
have started
friends.
doing League.
Just for my
You
just for.
started playing League.
Yeah, she got me. I was like, damn it.
I started playing League.
I was like, this game
Really?
isn't too
Yeah.
fucking bad. I was like,
I hear good things, but that's just I've played it before.
I just turned off the chat. I was like, I don't want to listen to you guys.
People are shitty.
yeah. I've just known too many nerds and seen too many documentaries.
It's funny, and my friends are always support me. They'll come and when I post on my story, and they'll come, but they'll just come on my chat and start talking shit.
Oh yeah, dude. That's what I was literally
nice
just about to
fucking
say.
shot, bro. You
Yeah.
fucking missed every single one.
It's literally my 3 friends who, ironically, are also my 3 mega fans on here too, who just love to go on my Twitch because I play like Magic Online and stuff like that. And they would just be like, "Oh man, bad play. Nope, couldn't do that. Shouldn't have done that." Like, I'm just like,
you really
fuck.
played that fucking card?
Yeah,
really?
I was like, "Fuck off, you guys."
I don't need to hear this right now. I already feel bad about myself as it is.
Well, cool, man. I'm glad to see that. I'd like to see some stuff on the books for some comedy soon.
yeah, definitely. Anything I have, I'll send your way. You need to come out and.
I know I got to do
hang out and
something.
do some.
You know what it is?
Come watch.
We need to schedule. It's homework for you. Is you need to say, "Hey, I'm gonna go. Let's go get drinks." And I'm like, okay. And then I show up, and then all of a sudden there's like a sign in, like a bowl, and you're gonna be like, "Guess what, motherfucker? I put your name in there."
Yeah.
That's like literally what needs to happen. So
Are you seriously interested in trying to?
I would like to try it again. Honestly, I have a lot of fun being on stage. I really, really do. When people ask like, why did I like stop? I have no answer for you other than the fact of just like it was like the gym. I had 2 weeks where I was probably sick or just depressed. And I didn't want to go on, and then it just.
Do you have a solid 5? You think?
I have a solid 5.
Okay.
I've had a solid 5 since like 2017.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk
now
about some old shit.
With the beginning of this new, I to be honest with you, I slacked off a lot towards the end of November and December. With getting sick and just I've been trying to find a job for past few months, but. The beginning of the new year, I'm really going to start hitting it hard and try and get, because once that momentum builds up, that's when you get asked to put on shows and stuff like that. So, but you just have to be consistent. Like I said, with anything else, you have to consistently do it. Otherwise, you lose it. So,
Dude, you literally, like I said, you just got to hold. All I ask is that you got to hold my hand.
Okay.
And you literally just
you got to
need
get on stage by yourself, though.
Yeah, okay.
That's all you.
You just got to tell me to go there, and I would actually really love to go again. I'd love to hit up like Bobby. I've actually been wanting to talk to Bobby recently because I want him on the podcast.
Like I said, he'd be more than happy to come on. I just messaged him on Instagram or something like that. I'm sure Facebook would probably be better because all those old heads love to go through Facebook for some reason.
You know how they with all their pictures that are like up shots like this, like their double chin. Can you do me a favor and spell your Twitch name for me?
Oh yeah, Capitan Kirshner. It's Capitan, the Spanish way of saying captain. Kirsh.
Cool. And I'll go ahead and plug that on the episode. Anything else you want to plug?
No, just stay black, America.
I love it. That was the cool one that you said last time too. Babe, anything from you before we go?
Thanks for listening, guys.
Of course, yeah.
love you
Justin,
all.
thanks for coming on, man. We'll
it's
see you
always a
again
pleasure.
soon, right?
Anytime, bud.
Cool. Take care, guys.
If you like what you heard, be sure to follow them on Instagram and Twitter. The information is right below along with their email. Make sure you show them some love by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. They also got previous episodes. But until then, we'll see you next week with the new one. We out.